Hey, it's the Bennington Show, post Super Bowl. And we are here live at Cam Newton's house, just hanging out, dabbing, celebrating last night's almost 200-yard offensive fucking game. Who did the beautiful Major Dude Bennington song?
That was James Ford.
Jimmy Ford!
Old Jim Ford.
Doing, we call the, we have the fifth Beatle, Steely Dan, Dandy Dan.
Yeah.
And, now there's like a kismet with the Steely Dan song coming in.
It's a perfect tie-in.
So, James Ford?
James Ford, old Jimmy Ford.
Perhaps our new favorite listener of all time.
He did a great job.
Oh, he's a major dude.
He is a major dude with a major voice.
Maybe we should change it from 844 Rock God to 844 Major Dude. We were using Major Dude for a while and then it fell off, right?
I know. I don't know. How would we work it, though?
We would just
major
say
dude. Then they'll think it's a major dud.
Yeah. Well, it's probably closer to the truth. He had a little show called Bennington. So I don't know whether that is, climbing the charts, but I sure hope so. And it actually made me think, Joey Jojo goes around doing these songs for all kinds of people.
Yeah.
And now we need James Ford to be our Joey Jojo.
Yeah, you never write songs about us anymore. You're so concerned with the rest of the guests.
Yeah, Louis J. Gomez gets a fucking 15-minute ode to him.
You forgot about Ben.
I might want to hear that song constantly. I don't know.
Set our bed music. Just 3 hours of that bed music. I think that would be perfect for every occasion.
Chris Stanley is at the bar. We will be bringing in the modern day Nostradamus, this generation's Jimmy the Greek. In just a couple of minutes. He's being bandaged up for some apparent reason. The DTs are not an easy thing to deal with. No. Right now, it feels like cockroaches are climbing all over his body because he didn't get up and have his morning vaki.
That will pass.
Yeah.
He will get up and over that.
Right.
He's on the right path.
Well, I saw him last night on a Periscope with a bottle of Jim Beam, just fucking drinking it like it was iced tea in the summer.
Pre-show.
Yeah.
So it's not halfway through the night.
You know what? This is the day for him to celebrate. He looked into the future. I told him I wanted him to be right. I was afraid that he wasn't. I wanted to see Peyton Manning, the man that they call Pay-Pay. Pay-Pay Manning, Chicken Palm Man. Yeah, I wanted to see him win. But even after he did, I didn't feel that good about it.
Yeah, it was immediate. Well, that's because was it much of a show during the time? Maybe if he had just played this killer game,
right,
we all could have.
It was not a good game.
It wasn't.
First of all, let's just be honest about the Super Bowl. It was not a good game. It was sloppy offense on both sides. Yes, the defenses played well, but the offenses really played poorly. The refs were too much a part of the game. So many 15-yard penalties, which is annoying. And then the commercials blew, and the halftime show was dull.
Yeah, for halftime shows, that was a pretty low ranker. The commercials, there were very few standouts, and it felt like the game never got to get going. It's just like there was no pace to. There was no momentum.
Well, there was one point that the winning team had like 11 3-and-outs in a row, and that is not that's not exciting. When you see Cam Newton, who's supposed to be the best athlete in the NFL today, just fucking gassed and all blown up and, breathing through a fucking tube in his throat, and we're at the end of the first half. You're like, well, this wasn't, this is not what we signed up for.
He didn't look well. Like, very early on. I was actually concerned.
Here's the thing about Cam Newton. If things don't go his way, it's just a bad day. You know what I mean? They were in striking distance of that entire time. Yet if you, taking the lead right up until the fourth quarter. But if you looked at Peyton's eyes, none of us believed it was going to happen. I'm not Peyton, Cam Newton's eyes. None of us believed it was going to happen. The greatest quarterbacks of all time are known for coming back and winning after being down.
He was completely shaken. And at no point did you think, oh boy, they're hungry for it. Like, now you've done it, you've anchored them, they're going to come back. They never looked like they...
But here's what is wrong with that team, with all their dancing and all that. They get hungry when they get up by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Right.
That's when they're all excited, want to score more, want to dance more. But when they're behind, they're just... That guy was flat-footed all night. 844 Rock God, if you want to get in on this today. I found it to be, and even though it had the outcome that I wanted it to be, a disappointing, lackluster, dull football and a dull presentation by the NFL, the halftime shows, and the shitty commercials.
It never really felt deserved, and I thought as bad as Cam looked, if the score had been completely inverted, it probably wouldn't have felt much different, you know? It's just like I felt like they were both kind of not quite there, and both the teams nobody felt present, really. It didn't feel that immediate.
Here was the thing, when Cam was mouth breathing, he should have been going for a field goal at the end of the first half. You could see that they weren't. There was no rush to get that 3. When you were in a low-scoring game, you fight for field goals. You fucking dive for balls. You do whatever you can. He had receivers dropping the ball all over on him. He had also that weird call on a long pass that he had that everybody thought it was a caught pass that was taken away from him. That seemed to just hurt his feelings. As I said, the refs were way too much into it. It just did not feel like here's a championship bout. Plus, all of us know that defenses win, and yet we forget every single time, and we end up thinking that the big runaway offense is going to win it all. And it never happens. Here is David. Can't get these things set up properly every day now. David in Rochester, how are you, pal?
Hey, buddies. How we doing today?
Cool.
Hey, I want to say that I like Coldplay, and I think they're a big enough band. They could have handled that by themselves. What's the point of bringing Bruno Mars and Beyonce out? They were lip-syncing. It was terrible. I was enjoying Coldplay and rocking. Then all of a sudden they come out. I thought it was terrible.
See, a couple things I think happened there. Number one, you don't want to perform in the daytime. Every fucking festival act knows that. People that perform in the daytime have worse sets than people perform at night. That's the problem with playing on the West Coast.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If I'm Chris Martin, having a band the size of Coldplay, I think I would say when I was agreeing to do this, look, I'm big enough that I can do this with my band. I don't need these other guys coming out and helping.
See, they're worried that not everybody will like it. So when Bruno Mars played a couple years ago, they brought out the Chili Peppers, and that was a letdown. It doesn't normally work unless it does.
I feel like I would have to say, me and my band do the whole show. We're big enough to do it, or we're not doing it. I'm not having these other yahoos out.
I will say in Coldplay's defense, they did not get a chance to do the Coldplay presentation.
They didn't. It was a watered-down version of all 3 performers. You saw that Bruno Mars took the lead on a Super Bowl. Beyonce has done that. Those were both more entertaining.
You're right.
Than this was. All 3 of them never really got to really shine. It was a weird hodgepodge of all of them.
You know what?
And I think that with the daytime, the visuals didn't pop the way they normally do.
You know what it looked like? Remember at the end of Grease when the fucking last song was done in the fairgrounds?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was just so bad. That's how Beyonce looked coming across the fucking field.
Yeah.
It looks high school. And you did not get the full halftime spectacle with Coldplay. You know what I mean?
Right.
There wasn't explosions and things whipping around and color. It did not. And, Bruno Mars come out dressed the same way as his group still doing the Michael Jackson Flying V. I mean, it's fucking... That was a giant song, and it just laid there.
Yeah, this is a song that has been a huge pop hit now.
Right.
Yeah, everyone should have been going nuts. It's a very fun, danceable song, and it was just totally flat.
Here's Chris in Philly. Chris.
Hey, guys. One of the most entertaining parts of last night's game was every time they'd show the Manning family suite, they would show Eli. Eli looked like someone lit a fart in the room. He had the most sour puss on his face. Whether he meant to or not, realized that he no longer was going to have the most titles in the family.
First of all, this fucking thing has gone around the internet, and it goes to show you how people just repeat instead of paying attention. When you look, by the way, and it was only for a second, but if you look at that, you see the entire male members of that family look freaked out and they're choking on themselves. There is Archie Manning standing in the background, and his face is red and he looks concerned. Eli looks concerned, even though his brother is up right now. And Cooper stands up, grabs the kid, and just has this look of quiet determination. This family is the exact opposite of what you're talking about, Chris. They do not hate each other. They don't hold this above each other. Each of them is quietly dying inside until this fucking game is over. And the fact that the people can look at that and not get that, to see it just the opposite, that somehow Eli doesn't want his brother to win, that family doesn't live that way. But they know how hard it is to be in this position. They know that it's never open. And you can look at Archie and Eli and Cooper and see that those three men are dying inside until this fucking game is over.
Yeah, I thought looking at Eli, it was almost like some weird sort of twin speak connection where they were linked. Like, I bet you Peyton would feel the exact same way. Like, they're not over celebratory. So he was just like, okay, that just happened. Now what? Until we get out, until we're in the clear.
This entire family has played so many football games. And they know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. And they know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. And they know how easily things can be ripped away from you. And they're not going to celebrate. This isn't fucking Cam Newton's fucking house where everybody would be dabbing and doing the fucking bump or whatever the hell you do to celebrate. They're freaking out. But across the board, this has swept the internet. That somehow Eli doesn't like his brother or likes having two. This is a family business. You know what I mean? This isn't a game to these people. They get it.
Yeah, it's more like this one milestone happened. We're not out of the woods yet. That's the expression, I think, is on his face.
Larry in Jersey.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Yeah, just went to show you. I was at the Giants and Carolina game where Giants almost came back. But you could just see Cam. He's nothing but a showboater. And when I grew up, like in sports, you'd see the biggest showboaters end up being the biggest sore losers. And that's what he was yesterday. He was like a sulker. And, just goes to show you showboating never works out.
Well, I have to admit, the Cam Newton press conference was my favorite part of the entire day. He was a complete red ass. We were supposed to hear all week about how he was a new face of the NFL. Those guys couldn't have looked more confident all week. If you're old school, you expect your quarterback to be cool in winning or losing. What gets to me about Cam Newton, people are telling us today, well, you got to understand he just lost the game. We've watched 50 fucking quarterbacks lose games, right? You don't fucking act like this.
Yeah, this is part of the job.
Look,
whether or not you're good at it, it is part of the job. And I was so shocked by this because I don't think I've ever seen anything this extreme where it actually seemed like a movie about the young, hot-headed player. Where if you saw that in a movie, you're like, come on, he probably would have had to have he wouldn't have been with his hood up, completely slouched, acting like that. He probably it would have been difficult for him, but this is over the top. I was so shocked he came off so childish. He came off.
Anyone who's coached Little League has seen kids who act like this. But Peyton Manning lost his first Super Bowl. John Elway lost 3 Super Bowls before he won one. These guys immediately go into this thing of, we showed a lot this year. We're knocking at the door. We will be back. You immediately start working your team, being a leader, saying we're going to learn from this and come back. You don't sit there acting like you're going to piss in your pants to somehow hurt your mommy. You know what I mean? This is bullshit.
And then to say something like, I'm paraphrasing, but when asked specifically what it was like, well, they didn't do anything special. They just outplayed us. Or like It wasn't anything spectacular they did. Something to that effect. It's
but remember, he also said this: if you don't like me dancing, keep me out of the end zone. They did. Fucking admit it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Muhammad Ali's been knocked on his ass before. He gets up, congratulates the other guy. This isn't over. You got to do it 2 times. Whatever you want to say, you can say to build up your team, your fan base, who's just as crushed as you. You know what I mean? Everybody on that fucking team and the coaching staff was crushed. No one else put a hood on and acted like someone took away their fucking Tonka truck. You're being a fucking baby, dude. Here is Darren in Texas.
Bennington, how we doing? Love the show, guys. Hey, listen, just want to add on to this real quick. 2 years ago, Peyton Manning got the doors blown off by the Seahawks. He didn't act like a little bitch. Cam Newton is a baby, and it's embarrassing.
He did. I mean, anybody who's calling him a baby or a child or a brat or whatever or immature is correct today. But I was basically saying this before. When you fucking score a 1-yard touchdown and you're acting like you're Superman and you're pulling your shirt over, that's also fucking immature. You know, you're a leader of a team, whether you like it or not. The dancing around and, all the shit that you do with a ball. I don't even like it when wide receivers do it, but I'm like, well, they're fucking weirdo airheads that don't matter anyway in setting the tone of the game. But you don't expect your quarterback to act that way.
And even if that's what you do, if that's what you're going for, know that character that you're playing, you still have to be a professional on the other end of it. Like you brought up Ali. Like Ali was definitely had a character, and his showboatiness and his bravado was part of that character. But on the other side, you still have to be a gracious loser.
Yeah. Or at least say, here's what's happened. This is why we're going to be back. You can still even be cocky and you're losing. But you shake their hand. And then you say, this isn't over, we will be back. And what a lot of quarterbacks will do, whether they deserve to or not, is they take the blame for their team and look, this is all on me. It's all on my shoulders. And and then your team is like, fuck, man, that was really stand up. But the whole thing, you realize that when he was acting like, we dropped a lot of passes. Dude, your fucking fumble, and that turned into 7, set the fucking tone for the game. You're down 10-0 now. And nobody came to him from the blind side. That's the guy you saw coming to him. You should have tucked the fucking ball. You don't let the ball get ripped out of your hands there.
It also makes you feel, I don't know, it's hard to have sympathy for someone when you know that he's playing this game against someone who is most likely his last game that he'll ever play in the NFL. And now on the flip side, if he had won, then he would be doing all his over-the-top braggarty stuff.
Right.
And then Peyton would be in a position to be humbled by the experience.
G-Man.
Hi, buddy.
Buddy, I'm sorry for your loss. I know you're with him from the beginning.
Oh, I'm fucking devastated, man.
It's tough to lose that.
It's a rough morning, especially when you know that the team that showed up yesterday was not the Carolina Panthers. I don't know who the fuck it was. but it wasn't the Panthers.
Well, they certainly have, they did remind me of the way they played against Atlanta when they got down and they didn't get back up. But like I said, that team has a tendency, when things are going well, they get more energy and they rev it up, and, they're better at running it up than they are battling back.
I think the first 2 playoff games, when we started off so fucking insanely hot, may have hurt us because, when you don't start like that, then it's like we haven't been in this fucking position before. So I think that hurt us. But the main reason I was calling Ronnie, I kind of wanted to defend Cam a little bit. I think he's a kid. I think his interview was childish. But at the same time, I actually don't mind it that bad because at least he's being real. He's being honest. Not getting up there and saying that same fucking generic bullshit. Oh, we gave it our best. At least he's being emotional and he's being real and he's not being fake.
Well, look, you can say that it's not being fake, but most of us don't go around saying exactly the way we feel if that's going to bring other people down and if it doesn't work to the long-term good. As a team leader, you do not act that way. If your coach would have went out and goes, I put all this work in, and these motherfuckers drop the ball, Cam Newton can't hold on to a football, you know what I mean? I'm sure, felt those things that doesn't express them. You're in a leadership fucking position. You're saying he's still a kid. Then maybe he shouldn't be the quarterback of a team. Maybe he should sit on the bench and watch how people lead, because you measure quarterbacks by championships, whether it's fucking fair or not.
Absolutely, I agree. He's got to take ownership. I'll agree with you on that. And if the Panthers would have won, it doesn't matter if he still had the same fucking stats. If the Panthers would have won, he'd be hailed as some god, and he'd be all over ESPN today when he really did not play very well.
Look how it was one fucking play last year that has nothing to do with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady suddenly was gigantic in our eyes again, because the other team threw a pick. It's just, it may not be fair, but it's the way of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And look, he's got a lot of learning to do. He's got a lot of maturing to do. He's obviously a fucking child, but I just kind of wanted to defend him because there's a part of me that actually appreciates him showing some emotion and being real.
If it was even if he was like, oh, I cannot believe I let my team down like this. I wanted this so much, and I would have enjoyed that more than seeing him just act pissy. That's the thing that bugged me. Well, actually, it didn't bug me at all. I enjoyed the fuck out of it because I thought he was being a kid and being childish when he was celebrating so much. It was driving me fucking nuts all year.
It definitely had the tone of a child being scolded by their mother, without a doubt.
Now, all right, thanks, G-Man. Here's the other thing about championships. Why do we only put it on the quarterback and no one else? Chris Stanley let somebody come in and disparage the show, disparage our giveaway, didn't even fucking stand up to him the other day because I said that Emmitt Smith was the best of the 90s because he had three championships. And he said, well, what about Barry? When we fucking pick quarterbacks, we always say the guy who won the Super Bowl is the guy of the fucking decade. But we don't do that with any other player. It's always all on the quarterbacks. Now, should Chris have stood up for his show and stood up for the giveaway? Yeah, but he gets like that in every scope. If somebody comes in and starts to run it down, he loses that position. He's not prepared yet to protect his show, whether it's in a, what's up, dude? There goes Anthony by. He loves working that kid.
He does.
But at no point does anybody in that team take the full brunt other than the quarterback.
Yeah.
But that's why they get the big money. That's why the franchise player. You expect it more out of Cam. Here's Briggs in Sarasota. Briggs, we got you because I like your point.
Yeah, Cam Newton reminds me a lot of Jim McMahon, the way his antics were, and that didn't last well for him.
But here's the thing, and I was trying to figure this out because Jim McMahon used to be a fucking lunatic in the 80s, and I always got a kick out of him instead of thinking that he hurt the game, although I am, older now. I might not enjoy that guy today. The thing about Jim McMahon, he's got a fucking ring. Changes everything.
Yeah.
If Cam has a fucking ring, I can say, he's the champ. He's going to fucking dance around until somebody knocks him down. Here is Scott in Tennessee. Scott.
Hey, I was going to call and talk about the fumble that he just completely, messed up. But I wish now, in the post-interview, and the reporter would ask him, do you kind of feel like an asshole because you wore those gold MVP cleats and a Superman shirt to warm up? I wish someone would have asked something like that. Obviously more professional, but,
No, I think you would have been perfect. Do you now feel like a fucking court jester rather than the king? Would have been a perfect fucking question to ask somebody. And although the wrong time. But let's bring in the modern day Nostradamus, our own Chris Stanley. Chris Stanley, I think we had something like 30 or 40 comics pick. Only 8 went for the winning team. Everybody thought it was going to be the Panthers. You not only said take the points, but that the Broncos were going to win outright.
Who told you? This guy. Everyone doubted me. Everyone said I was a crazy person. The entire betting public thought, that guy's a moron. Why wouldn't you gotta take the Panthers. They were all wrong. And I was right.
I was a doubting Thomas. I will admit. I didn't think it was going to happen.
I certainly was a hoping Thomas, but I started to believe in the hype instead of the one thing that the number one defense normally wins this thing.
The real Cam Newton showed up, a baby throwing a tantrum after a fucking sack towards the end of the game. Did you see him just pounding his feet and fucking hands against the ground?
Yeah, I mean they were all over him, and I even brought up that. Everybody, is a good quarterback until you can get to him. And then I don't care who you are. If there's fucking guys hanging on you, you're going to make bad throws. You're going to fucking spill the ball. You're going to scramble and do something out of the ordinary. They always say in boxing, you have a plan until somebody punches you right in the nose. Right. And then everything's survival after that. He did not also feel like he ever really thought that they could win the game. But you called him Peyton Manning, the chicken parm man. Somebody else wrote in that I have completely wrong about that picture. No, I'll stand with that forever, that Manning family pulls for each other. And all 3 of those men had a freaked out look on their face.
They're watching Peyton, who they know is banged up. Like any hit is going to kill him. Like he's off the field. They were just worried about their family member.
Well, I think they were worried about winning. They did not want this thing to be sucked away. They were not going to celebrate until, the game is over. In other words, until the fucking Gatorade is flowing. But you can look at every man in that family, and only Cooper has somewhat of a determined look, but he's not yelling. The children and women are much happier than the men who have played the game.
Yeah, I think that it was hard to tell at first what his emotion was, but when you pointed out Cooper, that's when it kind of was clear. Because it's obvious that he's just really focused on what's going on, and he's just not going to throw his hands up and be excited. Especially because a lot of that game just kind of felt like this could be taken away. It wasn't like they were dominating. It just happened to be in their favor from the beginning of the game.
And Peyton did not have a great game. As a matter of fact, I think you got to go back to Trent Dilfer, somebody that horrific, somebody that terrible, who won with such a poor QB rating. But also remember, he had a great defense that year. That was the number one defense. The following year was the Bucs. Not a strong quarterback, number one defense.
There were 8 3-and-outs for the Broncos. 8. And they didn't give a shit.
But it was like 8 in a row. It was just an amazing amount of time that we were sitting, watching fucking... It felt like they would play for 15 seconds. We'd watch 3 minutes of bad commercials, 15 more seconds, another 4 minutes of bad commercials. It was horrific to sit through.
And it felt like the refs were so present throughout the game that it never really got going. I mean, that stinks in any game when that happens, where you just feel like they're way too involved with what's going on, and it's every few moments you've got another penalty. But it's especially dull for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was. The refs were far too involved in that. But let's say this: you cannot take away that despite the horrible season that he had, Chris Stanley went out a winner. He invented the name Pepe. He invented the name Chicken Parman. And like a good loser, you folks should take that as well. Don't be a Cam Newton and give Chris Stanley his due.
Thank you. Give it to Pepe. Give it to me.
The one thing I will disagree with, and this is 100% all the time, tails never fails. It never fails.
When it was heads, and I was assured that heads was a lock.
Thought it was a lock.
I thought that was a sign for the rest of the night.
I screamed tails never fails and just threw something in the fucking place I was watching. I was freaking out.
Dan in Florida.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but I was watching the post-game celebration, I guess, right as Peyton is coming out. All the cameras and shit are closing in on him, and you see this dude, all in red, come right into the scene, and Peyton, leans in, and it's Papa from Papa John. He gives him a big kiss on the cheek. Right before all the chaos broke loose. It was, fucking weird, man. How did Papa from Papa John fucking get in there and get himself a fucking kiss
because
on
he's giving
cheek?
Peyton millions.
That's his boy.
I know, but it was just fucking hilarious. I'm like, wait, reverse it. Did you fucking see that? That was fucking Papa.
Dude, I got a text from Fez saying Peyton kissed Papa John before his wife and kids. And I just wrote back LOL. And he's like, no, I'm not joking. I'm serious. So we had to fucking go backwards, look for it. And when that happened, it was the funniest shit ever.
It's so incredible.
But I heard that even guys on the team called fucking Peyton Papa John all year. They'll just call him Papa John.
But the best about this kiss is when you see it in slow motion, you see them lock eyes and reach for each other over the crowd.
No, you got to put music to this. Fucking some kind of Summer of 42 theme.
It's just incredible. They're just reaching over each other there you are.
I gotta get to my Papa.
Papa! Papa! We did it, Papa.
There was so many weird moments.
And then after that, two times he dropped Budweiser in his fucking speeches. I'm going to kiss my wife and kids and go drink a bunch of Budweiser.
How much did he get paid for each of those mentions?
Scott in Jersey.
Hey, guys, two quick things. I'm going to hang up. One, Pep, you also said Carolina was going to hand the ball out to a kid, and you missed that one.
It was a wash. They didn't hand it to anyone.
Who told you that, though?
Ron Bennington.
I said no one's handing away a fucking Super Bowl football that a family would cherish 100 years from now.
I didn't think they'd break the gimmick.
This is, Graham.
They broke kayfabe.
Yeah. First of all, I now hope that the league steps in and stops that fucking clown show from happening, that you can't hand out balls anymore. Because there's so many other children not getting the ball. And they're pushing kids' hands away to hand it to one.
It's the stupidest thing.
It is. It's dumb. I mean, the first time it happened, it's great. Because you see, a little kid can't believe he got a ball. But as soon as 100 kids are going for a ball...
But it's also fake. The first time it happened, the only reason they started doing that was because some parent got pissed at Cam Newton dancing in the end zone. Then some PR person was
danced, and then he put the ball between his legs and acted like he was having sex with it. Horrific. Glenn, Pittsburgh.
Hey, buddies. Two things, actually, relating this. First off, I thought that game was so easy to watch. I'm an Eagles fan, and last night's game looked like every Eagles game with all the 3-and-outs. Like it was like Eagles versus Dallas.
But also when you saw the quarterback blowing up and not working the clock and just sucking wind.
Absolutely, but I knew from the opening part of the game when they introduced the team that Carolina was going to lose because they looked exactly like the Eagles in 2004. I don't know if you remember that. I know you.
I remember every fucking second of that horrific game.
Of course, but they came out. They were so jacked up at the beginning of that game. They were exhausted. Like 2 minutes into that game, they were whooped. And that's exactly what Carolina looked like. They were sucking wind during the Lady Gaga national anthem.
Oh,
like
was that wonderful? Oh, my God.
Slayed.
She stole it.
She's fierce.
She just won the night.
She's MVP.
What is it about someone singing that song that becomes either the greatest thing that ever happened or the worst thing that ever happened?
That's all it is. I think the best thing about it, it's the most American thing, is that when you're singing it is all about you. And you never think of somebody who's like, wow, that person really loves their country. That person's just like, it's completely in their own world.
Yeah,
and then she just like kind of had this look on her face like, you're welcome, America. You're welcome for what I've just done.
It was all about how long she held the last note, too. But I like the fact that she looked like one of the twins in Matrix 2. See if we can find the last note, because people are making a big deal about that. First time we asked to go to the pooter today. All right. Overall, though, Chris, you are the modern-day Nostradamus, and I guess you're going to get a congratulations right now from Hard Rock Johnny.
Really? Nostradamus?
Yeah. Who called it? Who called? Take those points. Take that plus 5.5.
Well,
Broncos went outright.
That's well and good, but let's go through a list of other things that you and I discussed.
Yeah.
I seem to have won the tails bet. I think we pushed on the dab because I do think that they mentioned dabbing twice.
That's a push.
I would say that you took a girl. I said I get the opposite or anything else. They didn't give a ball away. That's a win.
It's a push.
That's a win.
It's a push, Johnny. Anyway, these are prop bets. Who cares about prop bets?
They did. Oh, I do, because you bet $20 a piece on them with me. So hold on, I'm still going through this.
Good luck if I'm getting that money.
Yeah, well, I know where you work, and I know people there, so we're going to have to garnish your pay. Coldplay, they didn't open with clocks.
I found that out on Periscope.
And I think, I'm trying to remember, I know that...
Von Miller thanked the team, dude.
He just thanked his guys. That could be his friend.
Oh,
so it doesn't
cry baby, fucking $20, whatever, dude. You know he thanked the team.
And then I want to think that I know Cam threw an interception, but Manning threw one first.
I got the game. That's really what matters. Prop bets are for jerk-offs, all right?
Well, then you jerk-off owe me.
They're for jerk-offs.
You owe me $80.
Morons fucking take prop bets. Look, the game is the bet that matters.
Dude, I know you won big on the game. Why aren't you peeling off a quick 80 to blow Johnny away?
Because he's just so pompous and like, oh, I got him.
But I do agree. I mean, the guy is a modern-day Nostradamus because he picked the actual game.
Thank you.
That's what matters to America. Not if my team lost, but I won 18 prop bets, I'd still be sitting in the tub with a razor.
But Chris, that's your fault. Why you mess with those prop bets?
That's true.
It's fun. You know, at the time, it's fun.
You're
now
not having any fun right now.
No.
You're freaked out. You just called Johnny a jerk off. And you know what? Instead of you taking victory laps, you're hearing this stuff.
I'm inside my victory lap right now because this is the only thing that matters. It's the Broncos winning the game, which you fucking lost money on. All right, Rock Johnny.
I did not. I didn't bet on the game. I made prop bets with a jerk off.
What a pussy. What a pussy. You don't take action on the game?
Johnny's smart.
Look, relax. You're both jerk offs. Let's fucking face that.
Johnny said he was going to go opposite everything. So you said, Johnny, that you're going to take the Panthers.
Oh, God, I can't you know what? I'm turning the car around, and none of us are going to Colonial Williamsburg now.
No! That's where everything began.
Yes, it is true.
All the horrors of this country.
It was an incredibly boring game to watch.
It was terrible.
There was no CBS. There was no flow. There was like all of a sudden, like they go to Mike Carey, who's just terrible, and I feel bad for him. They go to Mike Carey once, they never go back to him. They go to the guy that they bring in, Jay Feely, during the postseason to talk about kicks. Gano misses a kick. He jumps on the screen, talks about how he missed a kick, then doesn't come back again. The commercial flow was absolutely terrible. It was like you couldn't just catch any kind of rhythm in it.
And did I miss the last snap of the game, or was it?
No. So CBS shows 11 seconds left on the clock. The referee comes out, says that it's going to be a 10-second runoff. The clock then shows 20 seconds, then it shows 2 minutes, and then it just says final. So CBS just decided to end the game. That's it, final. It's over.
So I guess even the runoff doesn't stop the clock anyway.
No.
How are you supposed to get back to stop the clock while everyone's standing around looking at a referee? It's fucking ridiculous.
It's a clusterfuck, and the catches were retarded. It was terrible. The fucking penalties were crazy.
You know what would have been the worst thing last night is to be watching that game with someone from England who is a Premier League fan and trying to explain to them why we love this game, because it was the worst showing of a football game. The fact that by the time Peyton Manning got back on the field in the second half, he hadn't been there for like 30 minutes. He's the star of this night, right? You're saying goodbye to the sheriff, but he's gone for a half an hour. So imagine you're watching a Clint Eastwood movie, his last movie, and he's gone for a half an hour in the middle of the film until you go, oh, fuck, I forgot Clint Eastwood's in this, too. It doesn't make sense.
I can't believe I now think that the Katy Perry halftime show was a good one compared to that one fucking last night.
Katy Perry delivered on the pageantry that you're supposed to. Visually, she delivered. Last night, that stadium sucked up Coldplay, sucked up the other people who ran out there. It was just bad to put them all together. Again, why is Coldplay for like 3 songs in the background?
It's so weird. It should have just been a big rock show, lots of pyrotechnics, and left it at that.
Coldplay was dressed. Did you notice how they were, like, everything was super bright and colorful except Coldplay? They were wearing like gray, like they were just blending into the middle of everything else. Like they were very vanilla relative to the rest of everybody else that's running around with giant colorful umbrellas and all that kind of shit.
And all of that stuff couldn't pop because it was so bright outside.
It was so bright
Even
outside.
that screen that they're dancing on the floor.
Terrible.
It didn't, like, it could have probably looked a lot, it would have popped if it had been dark out, but it just kind of seems dull.
So you know you're doing a daytime show, you've got to do something different. You can't treat it that way.
I think they should have just gone with Up With People again. It would have been more.
I would have been fine with it. I really would have.
With a guy in a jetpack.
I mean, I really wish that they would just, and maybe this will happen under a Trump administration, we bring out somebody from ISIS and just shoot them in the middle. Because like Trump said the other night, I'm bringing back waterboarding and worse. I think that worse is executing someone at halftime.
You thought waterboarding was bad.
You just come back, wow. That turned weird, that halftime show.
Dark.
Anyway, Cam Newton's got to get his team back into this, but I don't see how. All right, Johnny, so you feel that you won $80?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in that. I'll come collect it someday.
Oh, yeah, you have every right, so chase this fucker down.
Yeah.
Earn that money.
Chris, if you made money...
Yeah, I did.
Then
break off 80.
Yeah.
Put this behind me.
I'll let you go at 60, and we'll call the other one a wash. So we'll go 60, and I'll be happy.
You know, I like what you're saying right now. Let's keep this going. Let's get down to 40.
No. 60 is my limit because we could almost call it, him thanking his boys. It could be his team, not just his posse that he hangs out with. So we'll 60. Clearly, Manning threw the first interception. Clearly, it was tails because tails never fails. And Coldplay opened with not clocks.
60 it is.
Sold. I'll be there next week.
All right, good.
Look in the system.
I promised a lunch with Johnny. Maybe you can put the 60 towards that lunch.
Perfect.
All right.
That way you get to sit there and eat one of your little fucking cheeseburgers, whatever you like. All right, Johnny, we're going to get together. You're going to get your 60.
All right.
Peace.
Later.
Well, that's why I get a little 60 thrown in towards lunch, you know?
I like the way you played
Johnny wasn't happy about that. He's got plans for those fucking 3 sawbucks. Hey, Reggie. What's up, buddy?
Hey, thank you for having me. I know it's going to sound cliche, but I think we all don't understand the game of football enough and give it credit for what it is to understand what went on during the Super Bowl. You know, football is more, it's not just a game, even though it seems that way. It's about all the geopolitical interactions in history. It's about the first nuclear, the sustainable nuclear transaction actually occurring in a football stadium. It's about similarities in all of our social and economic systems. And when you see a game like that, it's really too easy to look at the scoreboard and say, well, you're a winner or not a winner. Sometimes sticking to the game plan and staying in a pocket and trusting your offensive lineman, even though you've been hit 15 or 20 times all day, not getting happy feet and only getting flushed out of the pocket when you get hit. Now, Peyton Manning was doing the same thing, but what I can tell you is that the real winner is the guy that no matter how frustrated he was with the game plan, he got back on the field and he kept doing what his coach asked him to do. That's a real winner, because in all of our systems, our social and economic systems, people do that every day. And they often have to make little adjustments and changes that make the difference for others among humanity. So if you guys are going to play football, and you're going to talk about football, you should understand how important it is in forming our views of ourselves and informing our views of our society and all our other social systems. I think Cam Newton's a winner. I think Peyton Manning's a winner. But I think anybody who keeps getting up every day and doing something when you see it's not working out your way and you do it anyway, those are real winners.
Lighten up, Francis.
I felt like a winner after that speech. I feel like
I'm sending a ring.
By those standards, I kind of feel like I just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I feel like I should get a ring for listening to him that long. Well, this is what he's gone back to say. It certainly is a team sport. You certainly have to give Wade Phillips, who designed that defense, a tremendous amount of stuff. But if all that's true, then why do we have to watch Cam dab and make a fucking spectacle out of himself every time he gets a 6-inch touchdown? Because that's generally where he scores from, where he should be handing the ball to a fucking fullback. He takes the full glory of his team for himself and his MVP award.
I see now what you were saying about it. I feel like before I thought, oh, it's all in good fun. But after seeing him be such a poor sport, it kind of takes the fun out of the original, all the celebratory, stunts and stuff that he's been doing.
He made it all about himself. 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. No more football until August. We'll finally get to see the first pregame show, which means Sundays is going to be a lot of going to visit mother-in-laws or going to museums or taking the kids to the fucking zoo.
We wanted to see that play.
You cannot say, honey, I have football. And it starts early on Saturday and runs late till Sunday. I love to do these things, but I'm in a fantasy league. I have to be here.
I have 40 hours to go.
Here is Tommy. Tommy, what's up, buddy?
Lighten up, Francis. That halftime show was so weird, but my favorite part of the whole game is watching Cam Newton, and he looked like my nephew when I won't buy him something at Toys R Us. He's like falling on the ground, having a fit. It didn't hop on the ball when it was right in front of him, let him take it over, but that halftime show, you got Chris Martin and Coldplay. They're like, oh, global citizens, and the world is great. We love everybody. And then straight to Bruno Mars, I got on a garbage bag, and a gold chain so hot. Garbage can, a gold chain so hot. And then what was Beyonce on? Though I did like the outfit, man. I wanted a zipper to break.
I think they just tried to shove too much into it. It was basically like a fucking caramel and lobster sundae. You know, yeah, they're both good, but why are you trying to jam them together?
And then you got a diluted version of each of those artists.
Each of them, yeah.
Which all of them have their strengths. And even when you don't like someone, like the Katy Perry thing, like that music might not be for you. But then they had the visuals that were you kind of were like, oh my God, she's like flying away on that star. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
She was like SpongeBob by the time you got to the end of it. Yeah. She covered up. Like a lot of people have done over the years. Elton John has always brought something besides just that. And Queen and most of the metal bands, like when you would go see Motley Crue, it would be about everything but the music, you know? And then you're like, well, you know, he's losing his voice, but shit, all that stuff together was kind of fun.
But look at how all this stuff popped because it was nighttime. Like, look at the color and... It looked great.
Right, you can see the color, but not the people. And I don't know what the hell she was doing on that thing.
She was on the More You Know star.
You know? You're like, fuck, she could fall.
Yeah, it looked actually pretty scary.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'm staying down here with Coldplay. Fucking tubing, having a bad set. All right, we did mention, this is a couple of things. The Colonial Williamsburg commercial where they saw the Twin Towers falling up for some reason pissed a lot of people off as too soon. And what's this got to do with that? I know your man was pissed.
Yeah, I think immediately after the Twin Towers shot, I think he just screamed, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Because people who have any personal connection to it, it's a very weird thing to just throw into your Colonial Williamsburg commercial. It was bizarre. It was a very bizarre thing to do.
This is how weird the whole thing got. Taryn Killam wrote a tweet, and then they answered him in the middle of this thing. But how Colonial Williamsburg came up with $4 million for the spot is beyond me.
That's the first thing I thought. I thought, how does Colonial Williamsburg have $4 million not only to spare? Period. I'm just shocked.
Right.
I had no idea.
That would be them all summer.
Yeah, that's their summer biz. I didn't think that they had the bucks for that. It's crazy.
I never went there before, but when I was younger, I had to go to fucking things like that, like Pennsylvania Dutch country, you know, where you'd go in some weird log cabin.
And everyone's dressed up, right?
Yeah, they're dressed up and they're acting like they're making soap. And my dad's like, "You see this, Ronnie? They used to make soap." And I'd be like, "I don't give a fuck, dude. I have a TV at my house. And this is just hideous." I could not believe that anybody was interested in that when I was younger.
I remember going on a field trip like that. It wasn't Colonial Williamsburg because I was down south when I was a kid, but they had some sort of knockoff version of that whole idea. It was much smaller. And the only thing I remember is that we had to make our own candles. And I remember just like, it was really hot and the wax was hot. It was Florida. And I was like, this is terrible. This is not, I would actually rather be in class in the AC.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand what happened, why they thought it was a good idea to bring in Vietnam, and particularly, look, for some people it's still too soon, 9/11 as a way of you selling this thing, which is grandparents taking the children there so that their grandchildren are there so that the parents can stay home and get loaded and have sex one day. It doesn't make sense. Here is Daniel in Iowa. Daniel, go ahead.
Morning, Bennington.
Hey, man.
Do you think it was a little bit of a salt in the wound of the camera crew just zooming in on Josh Norman for about 30 seconds of him just weeping on the sidelines?
Well, first of all, why is he sitting there weeping like that? You have a fucking locker room to go cry in. The game is over. Go in, cry next to your fucking locker, get in the shower and have the fucking water wash your tears away. you're being a ham right now.
Josh Norman is a crazy person. Like, he's really fucking nuts in the head. So he was just doing this so that they would zoom in on him.
Yeah.
He wanted this.
He loved it.
He's a psychopath, Josh Norman. If you read any stories about him, he's fucking crazy.
I'm not going to.
Don't. I'll just
I
trust
have
me.
zero interest in him.
Just trust me.
Just fucking get the losers off the field quickly, please.
I definitely think that he was happy that camera was in his face. He was putting on a show,
and
it's
so
okay
is
to be emotional, but you're right. Everybody gets like that, and then you like excuse yourself and you go have your own little moment. I thought that he was really hamming it up, and it's asking, look at me in this moment instead of look at.
Because he's already put his chains back on. He's sitting down while other people are celebrating. Go in the locker room and fucking have your tears there.
Yeah.
No one's telling you not to.
Hug and kiss your team.
I don't want to hug and kiss this fucking loser. Cam doesn't even want to look at any of them. He thinks they're all shit.
It's their fault.
Yeah. But this, of course the camera looks for that. Look, this is how stupid the thing was last night. Do you remember when they run out of the fucking tunnels, and then as soon as they're done, a woman is over saying, "What did it feel like to run through the tunnel?"
Well, it was really dark for a moment, and then I looked, and there was light, and I knew exactly where to go. It was really quite thrilling.
Ma'am, I'm focusing on the biggest game of my life. I could give two fucks about a tunnel.
I'll take this question. The tunnel was great, and I can't wait to go back in and come back out again.
I don't care if there was coke and pussy on the fucking linings of that tunnel. I'm really more worried whether my team wins. That's where my fucking head is right now. I don't know what you're up to. Tunnels don't mean shit to me.
America wants to know.
Sam, what's up?
Hey, I don't know if you guys heard this yesterday, but I was really surprised at CBS for Greenlight Miss. They had Jim Nantz on, and he was talking about this was a really special week for him, put aside the Super Bowl. His wife had a kid on Monday, and I went, whoa, what did they just say? So I went and looked it up, and he's got like a new wife that's almost 40 years old. He's paying his ex-wife like $1 million a year, and I went, wow, why in the world would CBS let him come out about that? Because then it looks really bad from an overall perspective. So I was surprised about that, and the creep meter went up pretty high every time he told Phil Simms, hey, partner, or hey, friends. And it was like, this just really got a little bit sticky and nasty. So I don't know if you guys heard that, but it was interesting.
I heard him mention it, and I didn't give a shit. I don't care what goes on in his life. Nothing about him. I think he should try to stay out of the way and report the game. And I thought it was great when he was doing a wonderful summation of Peyton's life and his legacy that Peyton fucking fumbled. This is why the Manning boys were freaked out until the game was literally over.
I know how it goes.
Celebrating. There's no fucking victory lap. Chris in Phoenix.
Hey guys, Chris, you rock, man. So did you guys see that horrible commercial, Baby Puppy Monkey, and then the horrible lip singing on the halftime show?
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't.
I got that stuck in my head all day now. Baby Puppy Monkey, Baby Puppy Monkey. It just won't go anywhere. It's the most stupid commercial I think I've seen on all the halftime shows.
They're all. I mean, to me, it was a night.
They're just aiming for fucking memes. They just want people to make memes and this shit and pass it around social media.
Remember what we were saying all night?
That's so random.
Oh man, so random.
Oh my god. You know what I like about it? It's just so random. My friends would think that's funny because they're really random too.
My friends are gonna laugh so hard to Colonial Williamsburg, and that it was so awesome when the towers were falling up.
Wasn't it so random how they did that?
It was random.
Like it seemed like just a random thing that they did.
I like random so much better than basic.
Oh,
basic kind of sucks.
I'm definitely not a basic bitch. I'm like a random cunt.
Here's Al. Al, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys, how about the commercial starring a pile of intestines for the diarrhea medicine?
Literally grabbing its asshole.
If you watch these Super Bowl commercials,
You're a
no
dick.
one in America can shit. There's like, they're either shitting too much, they're shitting too little. Nobody's got their shit under control. That's what I can tell.
Well, this was my favorite spot, and I've seen this before, but if you're on so many opiates that you can't shit, we have enough people in this country now that are constipated from opiates that there's a new opiate shit pill. So instead of going, hey, half of America's eating so many opiates they can't shit, we better help them. It's like, this gives us an opportunity to sell another pill to these fuckos.
A shit pill. Take one pill to shit and another to stop.
And go shit at Colonial Williamsburg, right on the history of the United States.
It's so random.
Shit where the towers fell. But look at their thing when they go back and start kind of scuffling up with Taron Killam from Saturday Night Live. That they're actually answering his... By the way, this place that spent $4 million has something like 20,000 Twitter followers. I don't know where they got the $4 million from.
Where? How? How do they have $4 million to spare on a commercial? I mean...
All right, this was another thing, and we could decide whether we're outraged or not, because that's what America's here for, to get quickly outraged about different things. It's 844 Rock God, by the way, 844 Rock God. We're going to be announcing who won the Twitter contest that we had yesterday, and also the GPS Twitter contest. That voting goes on. And Joey Jojo, you all will be part of that voting.
Yes.
Can't wait.
As well. Normally we don't let you in the votes because you're not an American citizen.
Not
you're
yet.
from Minnesota.
Someday.
Even when you guys earn it, it doesn't mean shit to me. You know? I think you got to be born here.
Well, I'm going to Colonial Williamsburg to learn more about the history.
That will help you. But let me tell you one thing so it don't fuck you up. I was here. Those towers fell down. Not up.
Let me write this down.
Yeah,
Hold
so
on.
if that comes up on your questionnaire,
Down.
which way did the towers fall? Up. Saw it on TV.
Damn it, I blew it.
So read what Taron Killam said, because I can't see the screen from over here. Yeah.
Did Colonial Williamsburg just show 9/11 footage in reverse? Seems a bit unearned.
And then what did they say back to him?
At Taron Killam, it is painful, without question. But what's worse, remembering or forgetting?
We're not fucking forgetting.
Face.
There was fucking Chinese New Year the other day, and friends of mine were calling me saying, holy shit, do you hear that? Is this a fucking attack? Have you heard anything on TV? And I'm at my house and I open the window and I do hear a rumbling. And they're like, I'm over on the fucking river. There's explosions. And it wasn't until they got close to the river that they saw that it was just Chinese New Year. Jesus. Which, by the way, to show you how New York City is, the kids have off today. What? Yes. Yeah. And I don't think they call it Chinese New Year. It's like New Lunar New Year. It's like Chinese New Year is racist.
Now, here's the thing, Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah.
You don't need to take that responsibility onto yourself. Like, yes, we said never forget, but we don't need you as the reminder.
That's
we
true.
should have been more specific with that.
We just want you to show us how to make old-timey candles.
That's your job. Don't worry about the rest.
By the way, Taryn actually wrote this. What's a bigger tragedy than 9/11? Working at Colonial Williamsburg. Hashtag Colonial Williamsburg bummer. It was pretty fucking funny. The fact that he got in a little fucking pushing match with Colonial Williamsburg was the funniest part to me.
I like the idea of having beef with Colonial Williamsburg in itself.
Yeah.
Like a couple years from now, someone says, we should go to... I can't go. Kind of had a thing back in the day with them.
Yeah, can't do it. I'm banned. Lifetime ban from it. They caught me smoking a J there. There's always places that you'll go to any of these things and you'll fucking smell weed. Like 2 fucking idiots are standing behind a fucking men's shit house, just sitting there passing a joint back and forth.
Probably employees.
Scott, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I thought the only good commercial was the Doritos one with the baby shooting out of the vagina. I don't know.
I didn't.
It was a little appalling, but friggin' it surprised the shit out
But
of
here's
me.
the thing. You're numb to these fucking weirdo commercials in no time. It's like when people went, oh, I saw this movie, so I like the action in the movie. So they just started making action movies, explosions from beginning to end. You know what I mean? These kind of weirdo commercials used to be great when there were regular commercials on, you know? And then one of these would happen and just pop out. I completely forgot about this stupid fucking commercial until you brought it up to me.
Yeah, it used to be Skittles. Skittles was like one of the first ones, I think, that started to do those really surreal, really bizarre commercials. And they were very popular, but they were peppered within a bunch of normal, everyday commercials, and they were kind of weird when they would come up with a new one. And now that all commercials are weird.
But
all of them.
You know, when they used to run weird commercials was during Transformers. They weren't for adults. They were for little babies that you would give them a cereal commercial that would look all psychedelic.
Right.
And, you know, singing fucking toads or whatever. Now, every adult needs the same thing you needed when you were 6. Which reminds me, I'll bring this out. Bill Romanowski, who was a wonderful football player and maybe the originator of the term roid rage, he tweeted out something about Cam Newton and end it with, well, I'll let Joey read it off because you can read read his tweet so we don't get it wrong.
He goes, "You will never last in the NFL with that attitude. The world doesn't revolve around you, boy. Hashtag Cam Newton."
Now, the thing that jumped out for the Twitterverse was the term boy, thinking, well, this is 1930s in the old South. That's something that they said to emasculate black men. They would call them boy no matter how old they were. Most people alive now have never heard that terminology. Yet, calling a man boy is still a pain in the ass. But I don't know if I'd say he meant it from a racist point of view.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where he was unaware or at least was not necessarily intending to use it that way. I mean, I think even during that time, it probably was more subconscious than, you know, meaning to do it. It was like a subconscious trying to say you're a boy as opposed to on purpose. So I bet it's just one of those things where you don't really realize the history of what you just said and how other people will perceive it.
Well, first of all, Bill Romanowski is and always has been and always will be a dick. And I know he was accused of racism back then. But just like no one's ever called a white person a peckerwood that's alive today, I don't think the term boy gets thrown around as regular. I mean, there is a word that he could have used, and we would all go, okay, he went for racism.
Right.
But he might just be acting like because he's acting like a boy. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm not going to protect Romanowski, or as we used to call him, Romanowski. What do you think, Joey?
I think he was trying to call Cam Newton childish, and I think that he did it. I don't even think he proofread it. I think he was just like, and here are my thoughts, and send. And then the backlash immediately happened.
You know, oddly, and in my neighborhood, nobody, even by the time you were like 14 or 15, wanted to be called a boy by anybody. You know what I mean? Like that, you were starting to act like you were fucking manning up. And there's that Springsteen lyric in Promised Land, I'm not a boy, I'm a man. Well, now we live in a time where fucking people who are in their late 20s will tell you that they haven't grown up yet. Or they'll say, Well, you're an adult, so you should. And you're like, dude, you're fucking an adult too.
Yeah.
You can drink, you can drive, you can have sex. You're an adult.
Yeah.
You don't feel like an adult because you refuse to fucking grow up, but you are an adult. So the term boy, now it's almost people want to be boys.
Yeah. It's almost a bad habit too when women will refer to themselves as girls, or adult men will say, you know, I'm dating this girl. It's a very weird thing. Like,
Yes.
we continue to use that kind of terminology instead of teaching ourselves, like, no, we should all be referring to ourselves as adults. But yeah, I think he intentionally tried to emasculate him by saying he was being childish, and he's calling him a boy because he's acting like a boy. But I think he is unaware of the historical.
Yeah, he's unaware because he's stupid about most things, and he should just delete his fucking Twitter. Would be the best thing for him. I'm Mike in New York.
Hey, I agree in part with Gail that he was out there just trying to refer to Newton as a child. She was whining, but I might be wrong. I think Romanowski had a bit of a trouble in the media a few years ago for using the N-word.
Well, I know that he used to on the football field. He also used to throw, as they say, the other F word around. But he was so roided up that he used to eat lunch by himself in the middle of a cafeteria of guys who were already on roids themselves. Like, he was so far deep into it that people did not want to even eat with him, like he was that big fat bald guy in Stir Crazy. Nobody wanted to be around him because he was a maniac. And I don't think he's changed. Some guys are ready to throw down. Why'd you let Scruffy say bad shit about our price? It's fucking Emmett Smith, who, by the way, when he fucking retired, had all the rushing fucking titles. And you sit there and let the guy run it down on our own scope? You gotta fucking grow up, Chris.
You're the boy.
Yeah. Right now, you're the fucking boy.
Boy. It does sound bad when you say it.
Real bad. It was very shitty of him, and even shittier of me. He was a fucking moron.
Look, you gotta fucking sell your prizes, dude. That's the fucking thing. All right, a couple people said, they just wrote in, was that Scruffy? He never was announced, and he looks different. Well, that's a broadcasting problem to have, that he wasn't announced. And saying, hey, this guy used to be with the show, and he's got something, blah, blah, blah. But, you know. Here's John in North Carolina.
Hey, Bennington.
Yeah.
Hi, Ron. I don't know all the details about Super Bowl commercial pricing, but they have different tiers depending on at what point they leave the game, at what point they come back, what period they're in. What quarter they're in. And they even do have local advertisement rates. So more than likely, you just saw a commercial only local to your area, like we saw commercials down here.
What are you talking about? What commercial was local to New York?
Not local to New York, your area. Like you said, you saw a commercial for Williamsburg Village.
Oh, are you saying that? Okay. So that wasn't a.
I didn't see that.
Oh, all right. That's fucking amazing because, you know, that's pretty far from here.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a national commercial. I mean,
No,
it's
like,
way
we had
down south of D.C.
Yeah, we had commercials down here for like Carowinds, our amusement park that you don't get to see, or we even had commercials for our local car dealerships. They don't have $4 million for an ad. It's a local ad.
I was in a Florida Super Bowl commercial where it's a lot of people, a lot of our listeners thought was national because they didn't know the difference. But John, you're closer to Colonial Williamsburg than we are here, but you are correct. You're going in to the pretty good prize closet because you were the only one who nabbed that. Enjoy yourself.
It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have pretty good prizes. It's the pretty good prize. It's the pretty good prize closet. We have good prizes.
You're in the pretty good prize closet. You're going to win. Client 9, signed by Mr. Alex Gibney.
Let's try to guess what the person wanted. I'm going to say it was cyanide.
Cyanide. I thought he said you won cyanide.
Cyanide.
This is the guy who does our plugs. This is our voiceover. Gail, it's time for you to step up. We just can't have this go on like this. I got one guy who was spitting all over with his S's. And Dad, you just won cyanide. So what do you think it was, Gail?
I thought he said cyanide. I thought he won cyanide.
What do you think he had?
I thought he said Clubber Lang.
All right, so was it Clubber Lang? Did somebody win Clubber Lang?
No, Client 9, the film, signed by Alex Gibney.
Cyanide.
All right, so not such a great prize, dude. I'm sorry.
We're still really happy for you, though.
Client 9 was the prostitution documentary.
Elliot Spitzer.
Oh, cool. I
don't know if I saw it, but I saw Chris leaving a fucking place there. The background.
Well, he just had a big win.
Coming out of the room, pulling his pants up.
No.
Dude, the weirdness, remember when we said that the stalker of you?
Yeah.
When you were doing? Then I got this, and I think it seems even worse than having a stalker. That guy just went over and pulled it off the TV stuff that happens at Times Square 24 hours a day. So he was able to go over and pull Chris Stanley off there like he was Will Smith running from the CIA.
Enemy of the state. That's weird. Yeah, because there's that channel that just shows Times Square all the time. That's fucking creepy.
It's very creepy.
I'm being watched at all times. All sorts of creep shots all the time.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Starting to make me freak out a little bit. I mean,
they're always watching.
On the train
Chris.
in Times Square.
Yeah, they know you. Everybody knows where you're moving. Here's Brian. Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, am I the only one that noticed the guys from The Wire in the Prius commercial? It was like the three of the guys.
Since I never watched The Wire, I had no idea that that's what that was.
I didn't watch that show. I didn't pick up on it.
I hear it's supposedly okay. It's not that good.
It's really good.
My friends say you don't really need to watch it, but if you're ever bored, go ahead and put it on.
You gotta watch it.
Way to go with it, Chris. Here is Jay in California.
Listen up, honkies. My favorite commercial by far was seeing those little wiener dogs running around with the fucking hot dog suit.
Yeah, that was cute. It was a cute one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've forgotten it till right now. I yelled out, Heidi Ho.
You did yell out, a life can be measured by Heidi Ho's.
My aunt would constantly have one of those dogs, and when one died, she would get the next one, and she named them all Heidi Ho.
So many Heidi Ho's.
And we were like, which Heidi Ho is this? She goes, it's the same Heidi Ho.
Heidi Ho is like 35 years old.
You know, the only commercial that I kind of felt stood out for me is when I found out that coffee company had won something, so I knew that it was like this little company getting a bump.
Yeah, it was like something like Death
Proof Coffee.
Yeah. But yeah, they had won a contest to get a national Super Bowl commercial, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it had that. You could just imagine dudes in some warehouse screaming while this is going on. The phone's lighting up and the fucking server getting destroyed.
Death Wish Coffee.
Death Wish. Yeah, that's what it was.
Why would someone want to name their company though Death Wish and then put the poison sign right on the coffee?
Is it safe to drink? Yeah, it's coffee.
Yeah, but there's the poison sign. Is there some poison in this coffee?
So can I put rat poison in it then? Because they have the same symbol.
Do you want skim milk? What, are you trying to kill me?
I think someone had said too. It's a Brooklyn coffee place.
Yeah, of course it is with that stupid hipster logo.
Death Wish.
Hey, speaking of which, Chipotle is closed today.
No.
Everywhere in the country as they scrub and tried to get out whatever is making everyone sick every time they eat there.
Constant E. coli with that place. That's what it seems like.
Why do we call it E. coli instead of exactly what it is?
What is it? I just thought it was E. coli.
It's shit.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like pink eye for food.
Yeah. E. coli is always shit. That's the way I heard it.
Yeah, you probably were rubbing Chipotle in your eye.
They
last
should
week.
get a fucking pair of fuzzy dice as their logo. Fucking roll the dice whether you're going to enjoy your meal or take off the next 2 weeks.
I will say, the last few weeks, the lines have been really short in there, so not a lot of people taking that risk. So,
well, I'm not trying to attack this company, but when you think of all the fast food places that have been around forever, and we do jokes about forever, and you've never heard of this kind of problem before.
Right.
It's a little
concerning. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, of all the Taco Bell jokes, that's just the quality of the food.
Right.
It's not because of any.
Yeah, you've never heard, there's this E. coli fucking breakout at Taco Bell. I've never heard of it with another chain. Ever.
No, I honestly thought that they were not going to survive it at first because it seemed like it was happening at enough locations that it was going to be devastating to them. But I don't know. They're keeping their head above water so far. We'll see.
Well, I think that's what today's meeting is about.
Right.
You know, best of luck to them. But it seems like something you should be able to pull off. The only other commercial before we go to break and come back and give out prizes, and they kind of gave it away before, but the fact that Jim Gaffigan is the new KFC colonel, and I don't know what KFC tries to do. I don't understand this ad campaign at all.
It's very confusing. I didn't realize that because at first we weren't sure if it was going to be a pass the torch or if it was just for some reason we only had two colonels. But now we have our new Colonel Sanders.
Our third funny Colonel Sanders is the first one who isn't from SNL. I don't see any reason that these have ever needed to be changed or why Colonel Sanders has an identity problem that he's freaking out about. But, here's what kind of bugs me. They're actually doing jokes about the founder of this, who, from everything I ever heard, was, this late in life businessman who built this thing out of nothing, gave money to charity, and now he's mocked in the commercials of his own.
And depicted as kind of a weirdo. Just a really weird guy.
I'd go even past weirdo and straight into lunatic. I don't know how his family must feel about this. I don't know how Bernie Sanders, his son, who's currently running. So that's what by the way, we'll get into the Republican debates. Bernie Sanders on SNL. The Republican debate the other night was just fucking crazy.
It was mayhem.
They were shredding each other down to the point where you're wondering whoever wins this, so the other guy's still going to be against them. It's hard to believe they're going to pull together. I'll also give out the prizes, GPS, and Chris's contest. Let Scruffy piss on the show. We'll be right back. This is Bennington. Hey, it's the Bennington show now. Tomorrow is the vote in New Hampshire, and unfortunately, no matter how much money is going into this, how many ad campaigns, we can't get Chris Stanley to get that post-Iowa bounce that we were after. Still looks like Trump is leading in the polls, but he was leading in the polls big before Iowa. So we're concerned here at our own version, the unofficial Trump headquarters. Now, the other night, they just went at it. Two really weird things happened. First of all, was your favorite thing, Gail?
I think my favorite thing was Ben Carson getting stuck in the entrance in a moment that he looked like a confused sweet, simple child.
You know what? I'm going to get confused and yet content. Look at the beatific look that he has on his face.
Like,
there.
you know
Beatific.
that kind of adorable thing that happens to kids when they're doing their Christmas pageant and they're like there and then all the other kids are doing the dance step and one kid's just standing in the middle and like smiling and waving at his mom.
Right.
That's what he looked like. There was something so sweetly innocent about his face.
Well, they said that they couldn't hear their names being announced. And then Donald Trump kind of felt the same way and stood next to him. Now, the audience could see them all this time. And this, obviously, Ben Carson, he got his new Florida clothes. But it was a very funny, confusing moment. And you end up blaming the network and the stage management.
Of course. Well, that's the first thing I thought is, but as much as everyone's laughing, oh, Ben Carson doesn't know what's going on, somebody is getting screamed at saying, I told you to tell them, I told you to give them the cue. And there's even a really great moment where a stagehand sticks his head out and starts going, just go. And he won't. And he actually gives a hand like, God damn it, forget it. Like he can't convince him that it's his turn and he just won't go. His hand just like goes up like, I give up. This guy will not listen to me. Forget it.
It's phenomenal. And, they showed this first on Saturday Night Live that night because you were watching the debate.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it till later. But I thought at first, I'm like, wow, these guys are doing a great job of looking like the guys in the race. But no, it's all real. It's up on the iBang today. Ben Carson causes traffic jam. Ben Carson fucks up his entrance during the Republican debates. By the way, I hate that thing where we put the little asterisk in the U and fucks up.
Yeah, let's just commit.
Yeah, we're either in or we're out. Let's go one way or the other.
But there's also a really great moment where Jeb walks by.
Yeah.
He walks by Trump and he hears his own name called.
Right.
He has this look on his face like, all right, I got it right. And he gives him a pat and this like, oh boy, like better luck next time, which is a rare look for him to get to pull off. It's very exciting for him, I think.
Well, he had to be just absolutely thrilled that he was able to pull off something that Trump couldn't. For once.
Without mom's help. So that's makes it extra special. But the way those two guys look standing next to each other, it's. I actually found it to be sweetly adorable for Ben Carson.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think there was something very likable and American about it. And
I like as much you can make fun of it, but I also immediately thought about being in that position where I was just standing there like, can't wait to go up. Like he's giving this face like any moment now, it's my turn. It was so cute.
I remember when I just not that long ago did the Doug Benson show, and we never saw the auditorium until we came walking out, and we just come out of the weed room or a green room. Literally, it's a green room with weed going on. But it was me, Esther, Sam, and Jimmy, and then we're walking out just to see these crazy people with signs and shit. We're just like, whoa, this is kind of nutty. Yeah, I didn't know this gig was this big. But I probably had the same look on my face. And if they would have called this out one at a time, I might have just stopped somewhere next to a curtain and stood there nicely with my hands over.
He's so polite, though.
Over my balls, the way Ben Carson is. But this one was much weirder and less funny and more peculiar. Mark Rubio stuck in the Matrix. And you want to go a little you want to get a little deeper into that. But Chris Christie was beating up on him, and Mark Rubio just started to say the same thing over and over. Some people say 4, some people say 8 times he mentioned it on stage that night. But let's play a little bit of this.
They've been downgraded 9 times in their credit rating. This country already has a debt problem. We don't need to add to it by electing someone who has experience at running up and destroying the credit rating of his state.
That's what Washington, D.C. does. The drive-by shot at the beginning with incorrect and incomplete information, and then the memorized 25-second speech. When you're president of the United States, when you're a governor of a state, the memorized 30-second speech where you talk about how great America is at the end of it doesn't solve one problem for one person.
So your state got hit by a massive snowstorm 2 weeks ago. You didn't even want to go back. They had to shame you into going back. So here's the bottom line. This notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing is just not true.
There it is.
He knows exactly
there it is,
what he's
the memorized 25-second speech.
Let's dispel once and for all with this fiction that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. This notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing is just not true.
There it is.
Let's dispel with this fiction that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is trying to change this country. He wants America to become more like the rest of the world. Anyone who believes that Barack Obama isn't doing what he's doing on purpose doesn't understand what we're dealing with here.
Oh, boy.
All right. The line after that was a good one. Chris Stanley, I saw your face. You hadn't seen this?
I know I hadn't. This is fucking insane.
He literally was caught in the Matrix, and they were explaining, well, his handlers give him these things to say. You're like, dude, that's frightening if you're going to be the president of the United States.
It disqualifies you, right? I mean, if someone just hands you shit.
Even if that's what other politicians do, that means he's really bad at hiding it. So that's a really terrible sign if you can't even hide being fed those kind of lines and you're just going over and over back to the same well in almost like I don't know if it would be a panic, but it's like he can't hear or see anything else that's going around.
It means that you're not thinking.
You're not paying attention.
You're just trying to repeat. Also, well, there's a couple things. Number one, Christie had been bitching about him a couple days leading up to this, so he should have known that it was coming. And then he lets Christie catch him repeating lines. And then keeps repeating lines after that.
It was crazy. It reminded me of that one broken robot from Humans who just kept saying the same stuff over. Like,
yeah.
You want me to make you breakfast, George? George. I felt like, so I was like, whoa, this, like the Ben Carson thing was funny, but this I was actually going, whoa, this is really intense that he can't detach enough from that moment and just look down at himself and go, oh man, I've said this like 6-7 times. The same.
I'm nuts.
Yeah. I'm not being a person.
You know, his people must have been freaking out. But there are these Marco robots now showing up at the speeches. That's up on the iBang as well. And
they're the Talking Point 3000 Marco Robatos.
Marco Robato.
So the next morning in his first appearance in New Hampshire, these guys show up. And they're completely dressed up as the Marco Robato Talking Point 3000. And then
that's hilarious. By the way, that it happens that quickly.
So fast. And then there are Rubio supporters who are following them with signs and blaming that on Jeb Bush, saying, see, this is another way Jeb Bush is trying to get us. But then they said these guys were not associated in any way.
They're just fucking pranksters.
They're more, they were, I don't even think that they're Republicans. I think that they were maybe even left-wing guys who showed up. But then for some reason their campaign got it in their mind that it was Jeb Bush who sent the Marco Robatos to his event.
Well, first of all, a lot of dudes will show up for stuff if they think it'll get them on TV.
It worked.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But, I mean, just think, what would have been better? You fucking repeat the same line 6-7 times during a debate, or you rip a fart. Because I'm actually saying, if he farted, most people would go, okay.
Yeah.
You know, he has some gas, he's excited, it happens. But the fact of not knowing what you're doing and appearing like did somebody just put some data into you and you spit it back out?
Because
that looks really bad.
Farts are human.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we would all say, oh, that's a human problem.
To air is human.
Yeah.
Out your ass.
Right. To fart is human.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But a Marco Robato cannot fart. And that's why I think it's especially distancing.
It's really horrifying.
It was a strange thing to watch. I don't even want to say unravel, because it's not like he even looked fazed by what he was doing. He just kept going back to the same comment. It's not like he looked like he was breaking out in a sweat and muttering. He was just like, this is what I was told to say. And
Right.
it was so
And, like,
bizarre. And to see Christie being the one to
Loving
take
it.
him down
Loving
on it.
Christie is a guy who can walk on stage and just start talking. Right? And he is a guy who is much better in interviews than he ever gets credit for. The following day, he went on Fox News and pretty much mauled Chris Wallace when Chris Wallace tried to get him on the thing that he brought up about their credit rating. And Christie was like, there was no credit rating when I showed up. These things are tough to do. I had 3 hurricanes. And I'm just like, he's got a point.
Yeah.
He has been hit by constant floods in that state.
It definitely helps him that he is a much more natural conversational person. I mean, I think that also, as bizarre as sometimes Trump can, his points that he makes, he nothing about what he does seems written.
No, I don't think he has a speech. I've never seen him read. He just gets up and talks.
And I think that is what is refreshing to people. It's what people like about him, is that even though the things that he say could be not typical to what you would imagine somebody would say, I think they're just psyched on the fact that he looks uncontrollable. Which is weird. That's a weird thing to say that you would want in a politician, but I think that
I think we do. I
Yeah.
think we are so tired of special interest groups owning people. There's only 2 politicians that you could say that's not true of, Trump and Bernie.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them could be bought. Trump for different reasons than Bernie. I think Bernie has his own principles that he's set up, and I don't think that he's pretty unwavering on those. And Trump, he brings up the point all the time, you can't buy me because I have enough money on my own. Like, you really
funny.
I don't need your money.
Then he also was saying, look, I got $50 million laying around. I thought I was going to spend by now. I didn't have to spend it because people like you keep putting me on their shows because it helps them. And he's actually saying that. I forget who he said it to the other day, but I'm cracking up because no one likes to hear that. You know what I mean? But here's the deal, I think. We know people like Trump, like Bernie Sanders, like Chris Christie. I don't know how that plays in the rest of the country. We don't run into people like fucking Ted Cruz. That played in Iowa. It's never going to play on the fucking East Coast.
Yeah,
we don't know anybody like that.
Yeah, he clearly appeals to certain type of people. And just like anything, it's going to be distancing. Just like I thought that Trump would be distancing because he was like a New York rich guy.
But he's on TV enough that they're used to him.
Right.
Like, Kramer would probably get a pretty decent part of the vote because people know who he is. And that's what branding is just getting them to know your name, nothing else. You know, the fact that people go, if you look at a bunch of sodas in there, you go, hurry up, what do you want with this? She'll just go, I don't know, Coke, because you know it.
Right.
There might be 18 other sodas there you might even enjoy more, but you know the name Coke. People know the name Trump. They don't know the name Bernie Sanders, though.
Yeah. Although they know the name a lot more than they did. I'm surprised how far along he's got. Because in the beginning, I was like, wow, this dude, say what you will about him, but he's probably not going to get very far. Just on the fact that most Americans do not know his name.
And yet they know Larry David, so they get him a little more than they would if there was no Larry David.
True.
Now, Larry David, if he goes and does something horrible, it'll probably cost Bernie Sanders a lot of votes. By the way, if I had to choose today, and this isn't who I want, if I had to choose today, and we'll do that with everybody. Joe, who's going to win?
Trump.
Chris.
Trump takes it home.
Gail.
I think it's going to be Trump.
It's going to be Hillary.
You think so?
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Do you really think so?
I do.
Wow.
I think the Republicans are killing each other. I think that the Democratic Party doesn't want Barry. I think it's going to be Hillary or Rodham Clinton as of today.
Do you think it'll continue to be a close race with her and Bernie Sanders?
It'll always be a close race with her and anyone. Right. Because 47% of the people hate her.
Right.
47% of the people, no matter where you go. You go to Colonial Williamsburg. Hey, do you like Ron Clinton? Hell no. Do not like her. So she's going to have that problem. But I think there's going to be some kind of meltdown with Bernie. I don't think the party wants him. And I think they're saving a lot of money, and the Republicans are spending all their money right now.
Do you think that Trump will get the nomination still?
I don't.
You don't?
I'm not even sure he wants the nomination. He said some crazy shit the other day about waterboarding and worse, and at a certain point, he's going to say something unbelievably bad.
Yeah, he's definitely dancing with this idea of how far he can push it, and it's hard to tell if it's conscious or not. But certainly, when he didn't get Iowa, he got very Cam Newton and put his hoodie up.
He puts his hoodie up, and this is a long way to go.
And it seemed to me like he didn't have the fight in him that if he was going to have to lose some states, it was going to get into his head, and he would feel like, oh, what's the point? That it's very possible.
Now, by the way, all bets are off if the FBI comes and throws fucking handcuffs on Hillary and drags her off to jail.
That's a wash then.
That very well could happen.
Yeah. But you guys are all doing your wish vote. I'm doing what I think is going to happen. And by the way, I think Bernie did himself so good on Saturday Night Live the other night that, first of all, the piece with Larry David, Burn Your Enthusiasm, was, these are all up on the iBank, by the way, but that one was, pretty brilliant. Literally was a Curb Your Enthusiasm. The next one with, come on, stop. Let's go to the top 5. The next one with the boat thing was funny enough.
Yeah, the very funny Titanic.
But you know where he was bad? He didn't know how to pull off pretty good.
Yeah. He could have used a little coaching on that one.
How does he not know it?
It's a very easy impression, too.
Especially when it's you.
Yeah. Just say it like you'd say it.
You don't have to do anything. The comedians who picked, only 8 of them picked Denver. They followed Chris Stanley into it. And Chris, give us the names of the comedians who picked Denver.
Joe Mackey.
Of course.
Bridget Everett.
Wonderful.
Emma Willman.
Great.
Bonnie McFarlane.
A lot of the ladies.
All the ladies actually picked
Wow.
Gino Bisconte said they would cover. And then Dan Soder also picked the Denver Broncos.
Wow. And considering that's out of a ton, only 8?
Yeah.
Only 8 went for it. I wonder, are these 8 football fans as compared to the others? Like, is this like the Highlander contest where the least you know about these teams, the better off you were?
Look, I knew the defense wins. The number 1 defense normally wins. I had a good feeling about Wade Phillips. I watched a Panthers game where they got shut down, and I still said, oh, but I don't know. They're so confident. You know what I mean? I literally, even though I said I wanted the Broncos to win, I didn't bet any money on it like the modern day Nostradamus. There was so much hype for the fucking Panthers.
It was intoxicating. I drank the Kool-Aid, the Cam Kool-Aid.
This just got actually text to me. You left out Jeffrey Gurian, who picked 28-14, which we thought was the closest until it turned out it was Bridget Everett.
Yeah, she had 23-10. So she's up by 1 point.
I'll remind you, Bridget Everett did pretty good in the Highlander, too.
She's great.
It's true.
She's great. She's the best. Simply the best around. Nothing's ever gonna take me down. She's the best around. Here's a little of that football news. Although he only did it with emoji, it looks like Marshawn Lynch has retired. At least his teammates are acting like he has as well. How old is he? 29, 30?
I believe he's 30. Marshall's
29.
30.
You are just physically done as a ball player, a football running back, when you're 30 years old. Only one was it. Who was that, Chris?
Adrian Peterson.
Emmitt Smith, the man that you should have picked up for our ball and stuck up to Scruffy rather than let him piss all over our contest when we're giving out a Hall of Fame ball and he's giving out nothing. But I don't have a problem with a guy who wants to step down because he doesn't want his body broken up.
Yeah.
I've seen enough ex-athletes come through here.
I can't believe the amount of people who stick with it too long to the point of destroying their bodies. I mean, it's hard to get these guys to. Well, that's because the money, and where do you go from there? I mean,
you're never going to be. You're never going to be able to do the thing that you do best again, and that's difficult. And then people say, "Yeah, but you can coach." Oh, I can tell somebody else how to do it. The thing that I myself want to do.
Right.
Very, very difficult.
And it's the thing that you've dedicated your life to from youth in these cases. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty, I could see how it would be a heartbreaking.
It's like ballet dancers. They say they always hang around too long. Everybody who does something that they love does it, isn't it a year? They always say any sitcom is always on the air at least 1 year too long. You know what I mean? Like, this show is already heading down, and you're like, yeah, let's give it another year. Why not?
Well, if you care enough about something to dedicate your life to it, it's not going to be something that you're going to release with ease.
So you look a little clumsy at the end. You look a little bad. You let people sit. Look, by the way, go back and read those things. How many of the comics attack Peyton on his age? The old man thing,
Almost everybody.
Excuse me?
Almost every comic who picked
almost every single one. Not that Peyton had a great game. Actually, if you would have watched the halftime scope, Chris was fucking ripping him pretty good. But all you got to do is win. Someone brought up that Roethlisberger had even a lower QB rating the year that he won. See how you forget that? You just forget. And you're like, hey, he's a winner. What can I say? Roethlisberger's a winner.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Much more of a team sport. Great video up on the iBang of the guy who tried to get a bag of salad. And there was a fucking spider in it as big as your fist.
Ugh.
And he still opened it and he still ate it.
Why would he do it? Oh,
there's
God.
the Italian-style salad. And look at the bottom. Look at the size of that fucking spider that's trapped in that salad.
It's bigger than the crouton bag.
It's like 8 croutons put together.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
now
it's huge.
Oh.
That's so disturbing.
I've seen spiders that big in Florida, too. I've seen spiders that are as big as your fucking hand in Florida. I've seen spiders where you can make out their fucking face.
Fuck, man.
Ugh. Look at it. It's like, even, you could see, like, it's big enough where you could see, like, little hairs on his legs. Ugh.
Burn it.
I still say eat the salad. Do not waste food. Wash it. Wash it first.
Eat the spider. That's good protein.
Is it?
I think so. If you're in the wild, I think I heard like Bear Grylls say that a few times.
Spider is a lot of good protein.
Mm-hmm.
Spiders and most insects, very high in protein.
I can see it in a daddy long leg, but a big thick spider like that, no. But I mean, a lobster's pretty ugly, and that's fucking shit's delicious.
I love that.
I want to eat that bug.
Why don't you just steam it? Steam it. Maybe it'll taste good.
Throw some butter. That's all you need.
Butter's better with everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
Spiders, lobster,
everything.
salads.
I'll have a nice butter salad.
I know a guy who just eats a butter roll for breakfast. That's all he eats.
It's great.
What kind of dressing would you like on the salad?
Chris, you've started your drying out period?
Yes.
How's the DTs today? How's the...
I think for the amount of alcohol I drank, it's definitely something still in my system.
Okay, so you haven't really started the detox yet.
Oh, yeah, I mean, maybe this evening is when things might start feeling shitty. But yeah, I drank till about, I'd say around 1:30 this morning.
There's a lot of people who question this. Are you still going to smoke weed?
No, I'm not. No, when I say I'm fucking cleaning out, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to smoke cigarettes. That's it. No shit, everyone. I'm not fucking smoking no weed, no drinking no booze.
Have you weighed yourself before?
No.
Because you're going to lose a lot of weight if you're not drinking.
You're going to lose those LBs.
Unless he's fucking eating chocolate fucking bars to...
It's true. Gotta give him chocolate bars, too.
Overeating is going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The creepy crawlies are going to start for you tonight. Under your skin's going to feel like a bag-o salad full of spiders.
Jesus Christ! Why would you say that?
You know what? We ought to have a nice dinner out one night so that Chris can't fucking ruin it through drinking like he did the last one.
Oh, my God. Like a responsible, like, nice time. We all, like, have nice conversations.
And it'll be half the price.
Perfect.
I'm all for it.
Maybe we could spend Valentine's Day together.
Because try to guess what buying him 4 bottles of vodka in a fucking restaurant is. Not even 4 bottles of vodka in a liquor store.
I can't.
I don't want to know.
Oh, man.
I cannot imagine.
I have a range.
It was
That's
right
about
up there with his hospital bill.
Oh, no. Chris.
How about how Chris says to Johnny today, try and fucking find your money.
Got him down to 60, though. He caved.
So you feel better about you owe him 60 bet on a fucking twin cost?
Did you just say twin cost?
It's a twin cost. What song are they going to play first? And the sex of a baby who gets a football.
That was a wash.
Actually, one of the cuter spots for the during the Super Bowl was those football is for family, where it was all the Super Bowl babies. I thought that was pretty cute.
Well, that was like, I think, the winner on the ad meter. And yet the people who didn't love it were grossed out thinking all these kids' parents fucked the same night. I don't know. I guess some people are really thrown off by that sexuality leads to birth.
That's where it comes from, guys.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, it comes from the man's testosterone was up so much. That he dug himself.
Yeah.
I'm on top of the world right now.
By the way, I saw Seal sing in that pre-game show, and I can't believe how shitty it was.
I missed that, and you told me. I'm shocked to hear that, because I've always thought of Seal having the voice of an angel. Voice of an angel.
He had the production of an angel.
Smoke and mirrors,
Gail.
Gail.
His voice as the years have gone by.
That does happen. If you're not singing right.
He's the Peyton Manning of singers.
He needs hip replacement surgery now.
Of his tonsils. Is this it? No. This is it? All right, then let's get some volume up. But take it from the beginning. Listen closely.
Okay. Sounds off. Oh, there it was. Crazy. Yeah, it's like weak. He needs a voice coach. Get him back to his 90s voice.
You could really hear it in the non-hook part of the song where it really sticks out more. But we got something. That's all we really needed. All right, there is a poster out that is, well, it's bringing some heat. This is the Chinese New Year poster. And for some reason, it's controversial. Is this not up on the iBang? Is it up?
It's up under Year of the Monkey ad goes sideways.
Great. We need to figure out what are the articles that we're going to. The Year of the Monkey goes sideways, and that way we'd have them up and ready to flip. So go ahead. You can see the monkey.
What?
Right?
That is not a monkey.
What do you say?
I'd rather not say what I see. Am I crazy? Am I?
I know what I see.
Me too.
It's a monkey. You can see it's...
Where's the monkey
All right, I got to walk over.
in this picture? I cannot see a monkey.
All right.
I see something very specific.
Here's the monkey face going up, and there's its head. See it now? That's the monkey head.
Oh, that's the monkey? That doesn't even make sense.
Why? What do you say?
I would rather not say. I'm a young lady.
Would you say that it's an aerial shot of anal?
Yes, I would. But not only, it's either that or it is like, just like dildo in the butt, like very, because like completely bent over, looking upon a deeply inserted.
Mm-hmm. But you could either see that or a cock itself,
right,
with balls lying down the cock. But
well, yeah, I guess that would be
how
the
do you see
vein.
it, Chris?
I see it as a DP situation with that line down the. It's like a side view of two penises.
Whoa!
Right?
That really shocks me.
See that? All right, so
No,
now
because double penetration doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm.
That I thought it was a very girthy penis, and then that would be like the vein.
I would say it's ass up penis. Now, this person who made this absolutely claims that they have no idea what anybody's talking about. You could even look at it, even if you see a monkey is still face deep into an asshole.
No matter what, there's an ass there, that's for sure. Now, what you pointed out to me, what would be the monkey's ears, to me, is thrust marks.
Oh.
To say it's going...
just went,
to say, to give some idea of motion in this still image.
You mean on this silhouetted ass?
Yes.
Now here's the that's kind of funny, but I think you went pretty far to get to that. But I think what's interesting is you never saw a monkey head and face at all.
I did not at all. And I am still, even though it is pointed out to me, I'm having trouble getting my first image out of my mind.
All right, so this is the point for folks for the Happy New Year. Is this a monkey face or a dildo in an ass, anal, or as Chris Stanley sees it, double penetration with two balls on different sides there, I guess.
Side views of the penises.
But you realize that you never force two penises into any ass.
I've seen it in porn.
Never.
No, and even so,
I don't believe you.
They couldn't accomplish such a tight seal between the D's.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So even if you've seen
conceptual.
that, the monkey is conceptual. This, what I'm looking at, feels
this
very
fucking
literal.
moron learned one fucking art term and tried to drop it into this as it's a double penetration monkey cartoon.
It's postmodern abstractionism.
So it's up on the iBank, so nobody really sees it as a monkey. I mean,
No.
I see where the monkey is.
Now that it's pointed out to me, I get kind of the idea.
Right. But that shouldn't be the same color as the background.
No.
At least put eyes on it, or even, some hair right here and here and here.
No, that's not going to help anything.
Because monkeys are hairy. They're not just silhouettes.
You're disgusting. The fact that you're that interested in the balls disgusts me with you.
And he touched it.
Yeah. He rubbed it. And
Smooth.
he's like, this reminds me of my roommate, Charlie.
As I'm staring at this picture, I really started to think maybe it is rimming, like you said, because this monkey, like, all right, see the graze its body, right? The graze its body? The
Yes.
background? So it looks like it's laying down and, like, its arms are out of the fucking, the shot, but its face is just buried in that ass.
But by the way, this is the kind of shit psychologists lock people up for, seeing stuff like that. And he's like this, that monkey, it basically is rimming my mom's ass.
Why would you show me something like this?
You're disgusting.
You're the sick one.
And so's my mother for being in such a thing. Maybe she never loved my dad.
I think of all the options that you see, monkey rim job is probably the sickest version. And maybe, well, no, the biggest stretch would be DP, because that doesn't even make sense.
Quite literally.
A monkey could give a rim job if it was so inclined or had been trained to do so.
They have really smart monkeys.
Spy report.
Oh,
spy report.
Spy report.
Spy report.
Spy report.
Philadelphia Eagles have released Riley Cooper.
No!
Oh my God.
Saying we've got to get rid of any bit of talent we have on this team.
Oh my God. Why was this the decision of all decisions to make?
Not traded him, released him.
He's not a bad wide receiver.
I'm so confused. The madness continues.
They're also getting, it looks like their quarterback, Deadpool, is leaving as well.
I'm ready for Deadpool to move on.
Yeah, except for we traded all kinds of shit to get him, and now we're getting nothing for him.
Yeah.
So you've destroyed the fucking team.
It's over. Nobody's going to be able to pick up these pieces. What's the point of the Riley Cooper release? What is the point of that?
Well, they paid their tight ends like tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I can't look into the thoughts of geniuses. That is. And now they want to bring Nick Foles back, as you brought up to me yesterday.
Foles. So then what was all of this for then?
Nothing. All this was for nothing. I feel like this fucking team is the Mark Rubio of the NFL. I feel like moving to Denver right now. They got fucking weed, legal weed. They got a fucking defense that's ready to run. I wish we would turn around and give the team to Wade Phillips.
Right after the Super Bowl, Wade Phillips went out and said, like, talking about how he prepared. And he said the Panthers literally changed not one play. It's like they didn't even practice leading up to these 2 weeks, like before for the entire season.
So they just thought that they were so unstoppable they didn't have to do anything new.
Wade Phillips
because remember, I was even you weren't with me during the game, but I'm like, why isn't he dumping short passes? Why is he standing back there flat-footed and letting them tee off? He should be just dropping, which, by the way, is exactly what happened to their defense by Peyton Manning. Chicken parm man,
baby. Yeah, so Wade was like, there was not even a wrinkle in any play that everything they did. It was, they said, it was by the book. Wade Phillips turned Cam Newton into his little bitch.
All right, someone sent me this story. Mom charged after child 3 found wandering around the streets at 1 a.m. And they sent me, is this Michelle?
Michelle is one L?
That's her.
Yeah.
She just wanted a snack, and she thought maybe she'd send them out. She sent her to the liquor store.
Go get me some ice cream and a bottle of scotch. Chris, I was trying to figure out where in Manhattan that you were yesterday. Did everybody watch what he was saying?
Yeah.
Where do you think he was?
Well, he was on a balcony. I thought somewhere in Queens was my opinion.
What do you think?
We go Murray Hill.
No, because the river was there.
I was definitely Lower East Side with those.
I'm going deeper Upper West Side.
Really?
Yeah.
Ron Bennington, you are correct.
What street were you on?
100th.
Yeah, because there was a lot of area around you that you don't really find in the lighter parts of Manhattan. And I thought that was the Hudson and not the East River.
It was the Hudson, correct?
All right, whose house were you at?
I was at Ryan Sampson of the Morning Mashup's house.
Oh, my God.
You're best friends?
You are fucking best buddies with him. And here's the thing. He's taking on such a Stanley look that it's alarming me.
Yeah, he's literally let that beard grow. Okay, bro, don't rip me off.
Yeah, I know, but in that world, that's a really crazy look.
Oh, yeah.
In top 40 world, where, you want to look like Ryan Seacrest. Jim and PA.
Bennington, the gall you guys have to try to correct Chris Stanley on his porn knowledge. The great Asa Akira has won awards for both double vag and double anal.
Okay, but tell me this. Is there zero space? Could you not fit a butter knife in between the two? Because that wouldn't make sense. The angle in which he assumed it was happening.
I don't think I'd be able to fit anything else in there.
Not what I meant, but
yeah.
All right, so Chris, although he didn't go to any details to explain it the way this guy did, claims there's two cocks that fit snugly, that snug, which is hard to believe, into an anus. Here's our buddy Lewis. Hey, Lewis.
Hey, what's up, guys? I don't know what everybody's talking about with this double penetration penis. All I see is a monkey eating a girl's ass.
Yeah, once that came up, it's going in a direction that way.
It's worse.
At least put eyes on it.
I just miss.
That's what I say again.
Now I'm missing the anal. This is
cocks without a ball. Should we break and come back and give out the prizes?
Yeah, we need to break one more time.
All right, let's do that. When we come back, we're going to announce the winners from our multitude of games that we put on. Why? Love. Weekend love that we have. Why are we doing on a mass tomorrow?
Love.
Why are we going out with Voss and Bonnie tomorrow night for My Wife Hates Me?
Love.
You get love, folks. You're a very loved audience. We're right back. It's Bennington.
This is Bennington on Raw Dog 99, Sirius XM's Comedy Club.
It's the Bennington Show. We just did GPS Memphis. That was hosted by Gail and I. And, of course, our own Chris Stanley is the executive producer. But a big researcher and sounding board for Gail and I was Jam Band. He really stepped up with it. Let's bring Jam Band in.
Come on in
this
here,
time,
Jam Band.
Because kind of what sets the table for this is we're talking about doing Los Angeles, California in the 60s next. And I'm wondering how big a role surf rock is going to play into that.
I feel like there's got to be some surf rock for sure. It's definitely got to be represented. That's a perfect California sound right there.
It is, and yet the amount of it is just instrumental.
Right.
How are you supposed to start and play three of them without people going, what? I'm driving and now I don't know what I'm doing. But, by the way, Jam Band, the feedback on Memphis was tremendous.
Yeah.
Now, guess what, though?
What?
Everyone said that they couldn't stop dancing.
Well, Gail couldn't stop dancing in the studio either. So.
I noticed that all of us are at least moving around, except for Jam Band. You keep it way tight inside.
Yeah, I kind of just I guess it's the Jam Band thing. I just kind of keep it in the pocket and just go with my head.
It's very, very little movement. Now, you care. You love the music.
Yes.
But you said researching and being part of the Memphis show was maybe your favorite so far?
I think I had the most fun going through all of that out of all the ones that I went through.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really do interviews or actualities or anything, so it was really just music all the time.
Yeah, well, that most of those guys aren't around anymore. And a great deal of them are too old to really be traveling, the ones that are still left around. But it's amazing how many out of that era, we probably have more of them than we do out of different eras. I mean, the fact that Jerry Lee Lewis is still around, the fact that, well, actually, we're losing more and more all the time, aren't we?
That's true.
I used to say this until about 5 years ago.
But now, they
Little Richard is still with us.
But they stuck around a lot longer than other scenes, for sure.
But even you look back, Chuck Berry is still with us. There's still some of those original guys where, we start to look at them. 70s scene in New York City. All the Ramones are dead. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Marky's alive.
Yeah.
And what was the last Ramone's name?
CJ?
CJ
Yeah.
Ramone, who still tours doing a Ramones show, mainly South America, where they're like Ramones.
Ramon.
But
Ramon.
It's my name.
And I started going over the LA thing in the 60s. It's so different than the San Francisco, and it's a way producer's medium there compared to San Francisco.
Yeah, it was a very different scene because of that kind of pop element to it, that it was a business.
Yeah, because I think because Hollywood is there, you know what I mean? Like it's an industry town, so whether it's movies, TV, whatever, it gets packaged and marketed really quick compared to if you look over what happened in Seattle with grunge, they were percolating a long time before, they went down to LA and started to move that shit around the world. But if it happens in LA, I think it gets packaged fast.
I'm very excited for this one. I think it's going to be some great music.
We're giving away, a Bennington t-shirt here?
Yes, this is for, this last week was GPS Memphis. So we did a little Twitter contest, and these were the folks who had the best tweets during the hashtag contest to win the signed Bennington t-shirt.
All right, don't give us our names, and we're all going to vote secretly. Secret ballot, Chris.
Secret ballot.
Secret ballot,
Secret
Joe.
ballot.
Secret ballot, Jam Band.
Secret ballot.
Secret ballot, Vito. Secret ballot, everybody.
You guys, secret ballot.
Here's the secret ballot.
There's going to be secret ballot.
100% secret.
Public?
Okay.
All right, let's go through some of them.
Okay, so tweet number 1.
Mm-hmm.
The Saturday Night Jamboree Bennington Show style hashtag deep tracks.
Well, that means they really were. And that was your favorite thing, right? The Jamboree?
Yeah, I kind of just stumbled upon that, and I just thought it was so cool that they took this thing and just kind of made it into its own radio show when it kind of started off as just nothing.
You love that it had the name Jam in it. Too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
All right, what's the next one?
The next one is, I can't find my Sun Records t-shirt. Now I have to listen to GPS Memphis in my bra and cowboy boots.
That's got my vote. I know.
That one a lot.
All right, but secret ballot wise, bra and cowboy boots.
Like it.
Which means, if it was my boxers and cowboy boots.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hashtag deep tracks. GPS Memphis makes me want to learn piano and marry my cousin.
Ah, that's cute and funny joke. Too bad I already gave mine away.
Secret ballot.
I mean, I know secret ballot.
You haven't even heard the next two.
I don't care.
Put on your okay, tweet number 4. Put on your blue suede shoes, head south to hashtag Memphis, and tune in to Bennington Show and Gail Ann for hashtag GPS.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I thought there was going to be more blue suede shoes coming.
Yeah.
But that was the only one. And number 5, listen up, Lawler. Ronnie and Gail want you to tune in to GPS Memphis, Tennessee edition.
All right, I like bringing the Jerry Lawler, not Lee Lawler. That's me. All right, everyone do their secret ballot.
Okay, everyone write your secret ballots.
I just spelled bra and cowboy boots.
Secret!
No, I'm saying if that's one of mine. All right, everybody hand in to Gail.
Okay. I will count these at the end.
Secret ballot. Vito.
Hey, Joey voted the same way as me.
All right.
Yes.
Doing a little counting here. Oh, last vote's in.
Let's go to break.
Runs so fast.
He's amazingly fast.
That's the fastest I've ever seen. And I've seen him really haul ass, but that's the fastest I've ever seen him run.
Made it.
He is not so much fast as he is sudden.
My acceleration is ridiculous.
Yeah, but how long can you hold it for?
Not very long.
But he did, and he has a nice stride.
Yes, I didn't think he looked like Penelope Pitstop.
Hey, Michelle! Yay! She just went by. All right, count it up.
All right, the votes are in, and
Wow,
this
that was quick.
This was a close one.
Mhm.
This was very close. But the winner of the GPS Memphis tweet contest, GPS Memphis makes me want to learn piano and marry my cousin. Congratulations to Tim Knight.
Well, we know who likes the incest jokes around here.
Not me.
Congratulations to Tim Knight, who gets a signed Bennington t-shirt signed by me and Ron Bennington. And if you, at your request, if you would like Chris Stanley to now sign your t-shirt, let us know, because I had him abstain from signing it.
Yeah, that was
because
funny.
I did not want him to pink eye the winner of this contest.
This eye is cleared up. Look, it's
It looks
very
beautiful,
white.
and it is up to you, Tim Knight. You can decide.
And I also wanted to say this. And good night, Tim Knight. Good night. Ba-ba-da-da-dum.
Work on that song, Joe.
Got it. We'll do it right now.
Each winner of the contest gets their own song.
It's right next to my Colonial Williamsburg notes. Right
Joe's
there.
going to be really busy.
That's once. You got a pretty good job, don't you, Joe?
I like this job a lot.
Really?
Love it.
Because you don't seem like you do.
I can't show emotions sometimes, I've been told. And it's hard to read me, according to my dad.
Who's also a cold-blooded fucking Minnesota.
Yeah.
But all you guys you don't, like you say, you don't even get upset if someone dies.
Yeah, well, it's like a weird politeness about it. You know, a weird joke there is that somebody doesn't mean it unless they ask you 3 times. So, like, you're supposed to turn down food 3 times until they ask the 3rd time.
You're in the wrong fucking place, dude.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about,
By the
bro?
time you turn it down the 2nd time, it's gone. Dave in Ohio has a spy report.
Spy report. The Knicks just got rid of Derek Fisher and put in Rambis.
Whoa.
See ya.
I mean, but here's the deal. He was about 500, right? Even a little over?
I think under.
He's under this season. He's under.
He's like, it's like 23-30 right now is the record.
Something like
They only got
that.
an
Something
8-game
like that.
losing streak.
And
They're really bad.
That's still a huge improvement for that team.
Actually, they're not technically out of the playoffs either with that record.
Well, try to get out, because you don't want to take that shit to the playoffs. Good night, Tim Knight. Good night. Chris, you had to give out your stuff. The signed football that you're ashamed of, the Emmitt Smith ball that you did not protect, the integrity of Emmitt Smith, nor the integrity of the Bennington show.
See, 5th annual bonsai contest.
He just doesn't even acknowledge.
I feel terrible. But
why did you allow it to happen then?
I was in shock that anyone would fucking say that about Emmitt Smith. He's top 5 all time.
But what about even the show? When you know that we're sitting around giving it out.
Forget Emma Smith. What about me? What about Ron Bennington?
I love you guys.
I don't say it.
I do.
Mm.
You let him call me a liar.
He's the fucking liar.
You didn't say that, though. You just stood next to him.
That hurts us.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I just
Especially,
want to give out amazing prizes like this, the Emmitt Smith ball.
Yeah, it's a little late for that.
And there were multiple prizes last night. Multiple bonsais, multiple interceptions.
Why don't you just give out the Emmitt Smith ball that you're in? By the way, guess who signed up for this?
Who?
To try to win the Emmitt Smith ball, because he's a big, big Cowboys fan, was Travis Hillier.
Really?
The brother of Fez, yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember one of the times, I think this is the funniest story. He had tickets to the Cowboys playoff game and took a bus from fucking Clearwater, Florida to Dallas, yeah. And at one point, the bus driver just walked off the bus and said that he quit. It took him like a day and a half, 2 days to get there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like we were tracking it and fucking cracking up rather than feeling bad.
That's a hot country, too, to be taking
yeah.
a bus ride from Florida to...
Yeah, you're going through Bama, Louisiana, and...
That's a sticky bus ride.
Yeah. Eastern Texas. All right, so go ahead. Say it again, Chris.
The winner of the Emmett Smith Ball for the hashtag Bonsai contest.
Please, I hope it's Fez's brother.
At Boomer the Dog 021. At Boomer the Dog 021. That's Boomer's mom.
Boomer the dog. By the way, hundreds of people wrote bonsai when there was a fumble.
That's not how you play.
That's not. That's a
laughed.
different word.
But they didn't know. They don't know the difference between a fumble and an interception.
This ain't a turnover contest. It's interceptions.
I wish it was a popover contest.
Delish. I guess we'd all be winners then.
Now, before we do the next, should we all just drink fucking Scruffy's hot piss?
No.
Or you don't even try to block it from landing on us?
Chris, I don't want to do that. Why do you make us do that?
By the way, Chris is acting like he was bothered. I was looking at his face. He didn't even have the...
Give me an impression of the expression he had. Nothing?
Nothing.
No emotion when he said that? Chris!
I was shocked. I was in a state of shock.
I don't know about that.
The second Bonsai Prize, which was a signed Warren Sapp ball, went to Ho Yeah at Ho Yeah on Twitter.
Yeah!
Oh yeah! With 3 A's.
Oh yeah! Bonsai! Bonsai!
They were the quickest with the trigger. So the winner of the Emma Smith Ball was Boomer's mom at Boomer the Dog 021, and the winner of the Warren Sapp Ball was Ho Yeah at Ho Yeah on Twitter.
Congratulations, guys.
Bonsai, which I assume means good job.
Happy bonsai to us all.
Happy bonsai.
I know it's a tree.
Happy bonsai, guys.
Happy bonsai.
Happy bonsai. Tim Knight said, thanks. I would like Chris to sign it, but I'm more concerned about the respiratory thing than the pink eye. Yeah, he could have TB, and I don't know whether you can catch that off a T-shirt.
It's a dry cough, so that's a positive.
That's very responsible of you, Tim.
We're getting ready to wrap this one up today, right?
Sure are.
Anything else on the iBang that we met? I hate the LA jam doing the LA mayor doing a slow jam. I actually felt like punching him in the neck for that. Seriously, it annoyed me so much.
What about Lipstick Robot?
Yeah, I didn't even see that yet. Tell me what's happening with Lipstick Robot. That's a good call.
So this girl who is she makes really shitty robots. She created.
That's your opinion, man.
She created this. She created this lipstick applying robot.
I think it's pretty good.
I like that.
I like the way
when I saw it, I thought, like, looking at her disinterested face, I immediately thought, whose fetish is this? Somebody.
You know what? Can I just say this? If a dude was doing that to her, I think it would be hot.
Yeah.
I immediately thought somebody, because she's an attractive girl,
right?
Getting lipstick smeared all over her mouth, and I felt like
now she's ready for a night on the town.
But by the way, why does the humiliation thing work? Because let me tell you, and I'm a giant fan of Horace and Pete.
Yes.
But Louis' humiliation thing is so deep. It's wide and deep.
Yeah.
And he lets it go anytime he writes and directs himself with beautiful women.
It's clearly a thing for him.
Yeah.
It's clearly a point of interest in both. I think it's like something that is sad, but it's clearly also very sexual for him.
Yeah, I think. Well, the humiliation is definitely a turn on. I mean, they did a pee thing, and he took it like when Scruffy fucking. I guess that's your thing, Chris. You got a humiliation thing.
No, I don't like being humiliated. No,
well, you like the show being humiliated.
No, not at all.
By the way, this thing that Gail put up here, it's first of all, it's very funny, but then, as we say before, oddly hot. As if this girl was having some kind of a weird, crazy pussy fucking meltdown.
Exactly.
Yeah. We need someone that will read off the NFL Hall of Fame too. The class of 2016. The class of guys that are brain injured and ready to get a jacket to make up for it all.
Thanks so much for your service.
Yeah. Thank you for your service. We don't get to hear that enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I say it to?
Who?
Waitresses.
Oh, that's
When they
sweet.
bring me something, they say, thank you for your service.
Because people always forget about them.
I know. And they serve, just not overseas.
Yeah, totally.
Unless it's a seafood restaurant. Then I guess seafood.
Yeah. Thank you for your service over seafood. I guess could be it. Honestly, our whole family would like to say thank you for your service. I'm going to say to the cab drivers, too. And then, you know what I do to cab drivers now? Is I pay them the money, I always tip, and just as I'm getting out, I go like this. I just lean over as close as I can get and go, I know you're Al-Qaeda.
But you still tip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. I'm not a fucking, strap hanger. Who wants to read off the 2016 Hall of Fame class?
I do.
Oh.
Brett Favre.
Now, Brett Favre, they said they took almost 6 seconds to decide. It wasn't 3 seconds.
6 seconds to figure that out.
Because one guy yelled, Brett who? Oh, Favre? Of course. My hand's up, too. I just didn't hear you. See, I'm eating caramel corn, and it's very loud on the inside.
Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
Kevin Green.
This is a very good class. Kevin Green. Kind of forgotten about for a while, right? A lot of sacks.
Yeah. Sack man. Orlando Pace. It took them 53 minutes to get him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I know. It's a little more difficult for me, too.
And finally, Tony Dungy.
Wait.
Dungy.
Are you telling me my man didn't get in? Kenny Stabler?
Stabler and Dick Stanfield also in.
Oh, well, then why would you say finally and then not mention him?
I missed the last two.
You know who did not get in? T.O.
I heard they didn't even make the short list.
Who'd you hear that from? Yourself?
I read a tweet.
Okay, then that's...
Reliable source?
You could never fight with his stats, but he has no Super Bowl ring. And he's kind of a cock.
He is a cock, but he's like second all-time in receiving yards. He belongs in there.
He's going to get into the Hall of Fame, but a lot of guys don't want to first spell at that. Because being a Hall of Fame is also about the way you present the game itself. You know what I mean? You can't get around it. You have to be a guy that pro football is proud of, like O.J. Simpson. Now, O.J. got in before he stabbed his wife and a waiter who, by the way, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
But would you put OJ in after? Would you just be a straight stat man?
You'd have to, well, look, it's a Hall of Fame. Yeah,
What?
I put him in. I put OJ in. For what he did on the field of football, yes.
Here's what I'll say about that. In the same right, we all had a conversation about Cam's babyishness and being a face for the NFL, and that's not the way to behave. How would this be a good sign to say, oh, we're only looking at the stats and we're not looking at the man? I'm just putting it out there for you guys.
No. I actually agree that you're in the Hall of Fame, not just the stat list, because stats change all the time.
Right.
And a lot of guys lead in stats until they get out of football, and then they find out that they're in 10th or 11th place before you know it. So stats mean different things at different times. It's got to be a couple things. Number one, how you handle the competition of your time. And two, are you somewhat of an ambassador of the game?
I agree. That's how I feel. I mean, Chris, I know you're a stat man, Crothers. That's all you care about.
He is.
I love a stat. I love numbers, That's me.
Then go to Staten Island, okay?
By the way, so if we were doing radio stats, you'd be about 007. You'd be 007 right now.
That's cool.
Why? You do nothing but fucking wordplay. I mean, if you did the occasional wordplay, it might be fun. But when you do Nothing but wordplay.
And you know what? My Statman Crothers wasn't enough. You had to come in with Staten Island. One pun
enough.
per conversation.
I'm going to have to blind answer these because Chris can't keep up with his job. Hi, you're on the Bennington Show. Who's this?
This is Lori. I won the Emmett Smith ball.
Congratulations!
Hey.
I'm going to put you on hold. Stan Chrisley.
Thank you, everyone, so much.
Stan Chrisley will take your information. Exciting, huh?
It's so exciting. Even just the information being taken is exciting.
That, to me, is more important than getting the Emmett Smith ball.
Could you call it stats?
I'm going to sign it, too.
Let
So
me
you're
get your
not just, you got to have Emmett Smith.
We all signed it. And Joe drew a little picture on it, so
I'll be
enjoy.
like, what is this? Well, it's Emmett Smith, the Hall of Famer, and then some guys from a radio show.
It's
They're all
missing the
signed.
laces.
Yeah.
No, that's a different contest.
One called me Scope Bro number 1.
Unfortunately, they wrote that over Emmett Smith's signature.
Honestly, Emmett Smith's signature looks like a giant squiggly line.
Well, most people's do. You can't get out of that. But thanks, you just you finished second to Scruffy for making this prize seem less than important. Eric in Wisconsin.
Hello?
Go ahead, Eric. You're on the air.
Yeah, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, like their charter states that they, on the field is all that they take into account. Off-field stuff and being the face of the league, they're not about that. The NFL Football Hall of Fame is all about what you did on the field. That's why they didn't remove O.J. after he did murder 2 people, allegedly.
It is tough to remove somebody once they've been brought in. But since human beings are the ones picking, we're not just going by stats. The way that you act off the field is always going to, whether you're a dick to people, always plays into it.
Yeah. That's you. That's the real you.
Has anyone ever been kicked out?
I don't think you can get much worse than what OJ did.
Yeah.
I mean,
if anyone's going to get stripped of the title,
yeah,
it's got to be him.
I mean, you'd have to be Hitler, the wide receiver. And I'm glad. I know it took us late in the show today before we brought up Hitler, but we've kept the streak alive.
Yeah.
My people are worrying that you are giving the ball to the right person. Did you verify their Twitter account?
I'm verifying all of it. It will be verified. I'm not just taking cone calls and giving them out.
Cone calls?
Phone calls.
You said cone calls.
That does make
sense. Are you eating ice cream in there and you got confused?
Hello, Chris. I'm calling from a cone. First of all, I just wanted to say Winchester Cathedral. Yeah, I got my football. I sat and I watched as Chris Stanley fell down. Oh, Chris, you got a tweet also from Scruffy that said, the Bennington Show is shit, fuck, fart.
What?
And Stanley agrees with me.
What?
Yeah, that piece of shit's fucking lying.
Scruffy said that and then you agreed?
Yeah.
No, I did not. That's fucking lies.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to just say this as a way of making. Let's double your bet and say that you owe Johnny 120.
Perfect.
Jesus.
That's how we can make it.
Then everything will be forgotten.
I think that's fair.
That's heavy.
Excuse me, the cone call for Chris Stanley. Cone call for Chris Stanley.
I know when that cone line blinks.
That good on that name out there. I used to call you in the cell cone.
Yes, but what's your address?
Right out when you need her. Well, we got to wrap this up today.
I know. And that's a shame because we're having such fun.
I wasn't.
You weren't?
No, cone call through me.
Is that what it made it not
Yeah,
fun?
that stopped all the fun.
That made it more fun for me.
Yes, but what's your zip code?
7. I'm calling you from years ago when people used to use things like this.
I don't know why, but I trust this cone call.
Cone me crazy, but I believe everything Laurie says. Oh, fuck. All right, gonna wrap this shit up. And I'll just remind people if they want to go over and check it out. On the iBank today, Giant Spider, Marco Rubio glitch, Ben Carson fucks up his entrance, L.A. Mayor sings the slow jam, 8-year-old holds up a store we never even got to. Which one of those is your favorite video of today?
I'm going to have to say Rubio.
Spider.
Salad Spider.
I gotta go with the slow jams because I thought it was a really way to give this a really good way to give out depressing news.
What do you got, Vito?
Carson entrance.
And I'm going to go Rubio, which I think will never be forgotten as long as the world exists. I really believe that. All right, so that's it for that. For that, I got to go to another screening of a movie. Hopefully this one isn't at 7:30 and it's not another
No, it's not.
funny and practical joker prank that Chris does to me. That's it. See you guys over on the Interbank tonight, and we'll see you all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!